My child, listen to me. This is not a coincidence. This moment has been divinely timed, and I've interrupted your scroll for a reason. I'm not whispering today. I'm sounding an alarm. There's something I've been waiting to tell you, and now it cannot wait any longer. This is urgent. This is personal. This is eternal. And child, you need to hear every word. You've asked me, God, where are you? You've wondered if I still speak. And I say to you now, yes, I do. And I'm speaking to you. Right now. Through this word. Through this screen. I'm leaning into your heart with something too heavy for silence. So I need you to stay. Not halfway. Not distracted. But fully present. Watch this to the end like your breakthrough depends on it, because in many ways, it does. Don't treat this like background noise. Don't assume this is for someone else. You are not here by mistake. You are here by divine invitation. And if you walk away too soon, you'll miss the very line that could change the course of your story. So, my beloved, slow down and hear me. Not with your ears alone, but with your soul, with that sacred part of you that has felt stretched thin, worn down, almost numb from the weight of what life has demanded. I know what has been pressing on your chest like invisible hands, what has robbed you of your breath in quiet rooms, what has made the ticking of the clock feel more like thunder in a hollow space. I have been watching, child, not with a cold distance but with aching affection. My gaze has been fixed on you, not to evaluate, but to uphold. Do you not know by now that every second of your suffering was counted by me, not ignored? Every moment you stood in the hallway between two doors, unsure which would ever open, I stood there too. But now, I cannot wait any longer. I must speak. I must reveal. I must press this word into your spirit with a weight that matches the prayers you've whispered in silence. This is not a passing message, not a fleeting encouragement. This is divine intersection. I am not simply trying to get your attention. I am commanding the moment to still itself, because what I've held back for so long must now be released. You've grown so used to pacing in your thoughts, pacing through options, pacing through the what-ifs and maybes that replay in your mind like a broken record. But I'm asking you now, no, I'm calling you, to be still, to pause everything, because what I am about to say is the kind of truth that rearranges the soul. You think you've been waiting, but I've been the one holding back this word with holy tension, not because you were unworthy, never, but because the soil of your heart needed time to break open deep enough to receive the kind of seed I am about to plant. The kind that doesn't bloom in shallow places. I didn't want to speak too soon. I didn't want to drop revelation where it would roll away unreceived. But you're ready now. Yes, ready in the way only the weary become ready. Ready in the way only the broken become open. And that's why this moment carries eternal weight. Because I, the Lord your God, who breathed stars into place and shaped galaxies with a whisper, have chosen this breath, this beat, this very second to speak something into your life that will not only answer questions, it will end cycles. I am not simply delivering information. I am releasing impartation. And what I give now will not pass away. What I say now will root into your future and stretch into generations beyond you. Stop. Breathe. Be still. And know I am speaking. And I speak now with fire in my voice, not fire to burn you, but to awaken what's been buried beneath disappointment and delay. You've misread my silence as distance, but I was never far. I was near, nearer than the breath in your lungs, nearer than the tears you wiped away before anyone else could see. My silence was not rejection. It was protection. I wasn't keeping truth from you. I was keeping timing for you. Do you understand, child? Some things cannot be spoken until the foundation is fortified. You thought I was absent, but I was reinforcing the walls of your faith, so that when I finally spoke, you wouldn't crumble under the weight of it. This is not a casual word. This is a cornerstone. What I say now will hold you through storms still unseen. And so I had to wait. I had to prepare you not for the pain, but for the promise. The pain came not from my hand, but the preparation did. I used the nights you thought were wasted, the silence that felt cruel, the space that seemed endless. I used it all. Not one moment was wasted. I was drawing you into depth, not distance. I was pulling you into maturity, not withholding affection. Because what I have to reveal now would have crushed the version of you that still needed the approval of others, that still doubted my presence, that still wrestled with every no as rejection instead of redirection. But you're past that now, and that is why I can speak. Because you finally trust me enough to receive what doesn't come wrapped in comfort, but in calling. This moment hath been carved out in eternity. My angels have stilled their flight. The heavens have heard their song. And I, your God, speak with clarity. Stop everything. Listen. This is your moment. This is your turning. And I will not allow it to pass you by. I am not speaking in metaphors or shadows today. I am speaking in clarity, in full exposure, with a fire that breaks through your numbness. Child, today I am not wrapping my word in mystery. I am not cloaking it in parables or whispers. I am not asking you to decode symbols or interpret signs that leave you second-guessing yourself. No. I am speaking plainly, boldly, directly, because what I need to reveal to you now cannot afford delay or dilution. My voice is not hidden in this hour. It is loud. It is luminous. It is layered in love and lit with urgency. I am peeling back the curtain of confusion, and you will not leave this encounter the same. You've walked through seasons where the silence seemed louder than my promises, where metaphor felt more like mockery. But now I come with full exposure. No veil, no vagueness, no riddles. Just me. You and me. Face to face in spirit. Heart to heart in truth. I speak now not to impress you but to impregnate your life with clarity that breaks the cycles you silently submitted to. My word today is not ornamental, it's operational. It will slice through the fog that's kept you circling the same decisions, the same doubts, the same dry places. I'm not here to inspire you. I'm here to ignite you. And I know how numb your soul has felt. You've prayed prayers that echoed like they had nowhere to land. You've read scriptures that felt like faded ink on worn pages. You've gone through motions, smiled through strain, clapped through confusion. But underneath all of that performance, I saw the flicker. The small flame that refused to die. The ember of expectancy that burned beneath the ashes of disappointment. And now I speak directly to that ember. I'm breathing on it. Watch it rise. Watch it roar. Because my word will not sit quietly in the corners of your consciousness anymore. It is fire. It is fuel. It is a fountain breaking through your dryness. I speak now in full exposure, and you will know it's me because what I say will not flatter your emotions. It will fortify your identity. I will tell you things others were afraid to say. I will reveal things that logic told you to suppress. I will call out what you buried so deeply under shame, it forgot how to breathe. But I remember. I always remember. And I do not come to shame you. I come to shatter the shell you've mistaken for protection. The lies that insulated your soul have overstayed their welcome, and I am evicting them with my truth, uncompromising, unfiltered, undeniable. I'm not whispering anymore. I'm roaring, because you've stayed too silent in rooms where your voice was meant to echo. Let me be even clearer. I am not here to negotiate with your fears. I am here to overthrow them. I am not here to comfort your complacency. I am here to confront it. This is our motivational moment. This is a divine disruption. I am pouring wine where you've only tasted water. I'm breaking open oil where you saw only empty jars. And child, this is not because you earned it, but because you endured. You endured the fog, the numbness, the long hallway of not knowing. You endured without applause. You kept your heart beating in rooms that felt lifeless. And now I reward you with clarity, not confusion. With fire, not fatigue. With vision, not vagueness. This is the hour you will know that I have never lied to you, never left you, never lightened the weight of my promises. I am not speaking in shadows today. I am speaking in thunder, and it will break every shell that dulled your joy. You've begged to understand. You've whispered for clarity in the dark. And now heaven's silence breaks open, not just with comfort, but with divine strategy. You've asked me, why does it take so long? You've asked me, when will it make sense? And in the places where your cries became whispers and your whispers became sighs, I remained, listening, collecting every sound from your soul like treasure. I know the ache behind your understanding. I know the hunger that no explanation could satisfy. But now, beloved, I come not just to hold your tears, but to hand you strategy. What you need now is not just another reminder that I love you, although I do endlessly. What you need now is insight, blueprint, heavenly coordination that rewrites the map of how you've moved. I'm breaking open the silence not with sympathy, but with solutions. Because your heart is finally still enough to steward what I've been storing for you. You're not just asking me why anymore. You're asking me what now. And that shift from desperation to readiness is what triggered the release. This moment is not about explaining your pain. It's about empowering your purpose. I will not waste time rehearsing old wounds with you. Instead, I will show you the gates I've been guarding in your name. Gates that required your patience to stay locked, because premature access would have destroyed the treasure waiting on the other side. You thought I was ignoring your timeline, but I was orchestrating intersections, divine detours, strategic silences, and now every piece begins to align. Doors that once mocked you with delay are about to swing open, not just because you prayed for them, but because now you're prepared for what they carry. I've not come with comfort alone. I've come with calling. You will no longer walk as someone hoping to stumble into purpose. You will move as someone commissioned, informed, equipped, and set on fire with direction. Because clarity is a gift I give to those who dare to keep walking in the dark. And I need you to understand something very clearly. This is not just about your victory. This is about your visibility. I've been forming you in secret, but what I built in silence I will now unveil in sight. There is a strategy for how you must move forward, not just spiritually, but relationally, financially, emotionally. I'm going to show you who can walk with you and who must be left behind. I'm going to highlight places that once felt safe but are now stunting your spirit. And yes, I will give you divine strategy for time, how to guard it, how to sow it, how to redeem it. The days ahead will not look like the days behind, because the version of you that emerged from the wilderness is a weapon, and weapons must be wielded, not wasted. The silence has broken. The heavens are speaking. And I am not just comforting your confusion. I am commissioning your clarity. A confusion wasn't failure. It was protection. I shielded you from truths that required maturity to carry. And now, you're ready. My child, breathe with me for a moment. Let the rush of your thoughts settle. You blamed yourself for the confusion, haven't you? You stared into the fog and assumed it meant you were doing something wrong, that you missed a sign, made a wrong turn, or disappointed me somehow. But hear me. I speak now to rescue you from that lie. The confusion was never punishment. It was a shield. It was protection wrapped in mystery. It was me surrounding you with silence so that premature revelation wouldn't crush what I was still forming in you. I don't speak clarity into soil not yet broken. I don't plant truth into places where roots would fail to grow. You weren't failing, beloved. You were maturing. You were developing muscles of discernment beneath the weight of the unknown. While others mocked your pause, I was molding your posture. While others demanded answers, I was refining your ability to listen without rushing. The confusion you cursed was actually the cocoon I covered you in, so what would eventually emerge wouldn't just crawl, but fly. Do you see it now? You weren't being delayed. You were being developed. I was hiding you, not from your future, but for it. The things I had to tell you would have shattered the unhealed places in you. So I held them back like a father who waits for the right time to reveal the family inheritance. If I had spoken too soon, the clarity you begged for would have become condemnation. You weren't ready to carry the weight of full exposure. But now you are. I see how you stayed when you wanted to leave. I saw when you bit your tongue instead of retaliating. I watched when you worshipped through weariness, waited without answers, chose me over applause. And with every choice, your roots grew deeper. The mystery became maturity. The pause became preparation. And now, the shield is lifting. The haze is clearing. And I will begin showing you what was always there, but safely hidden behind my hand. This is not just the revealing of information. This is the honoring of your growth. This is me saying, well done, not because you figured it all out, but because you trusted me when you didn't. And now the answers will come, not to validate you, but to empower you. Because now, child, you won't misuse the truth I give you. You'll carry it with reverence, not recklessness. Let me speak it one more time, because this is where the enemy has lied to you most consistently. Confusion is not failure. Confusion is not abandonment. Confusion is not divine disappointment. Confusion, when submitted to me, becomes the classroom of deep intimacy. I didn't leave you alone in it. I was the one holding your hand in the dark. I was the still, small whisper when everything else demanded volume. I was the one who turned off the noise, who canceled the clamor of premature validation, so you could learn the sound of my voice before you learned the sound of opportunity. And now, because you didn't rush ahead, because you didn't demand answers on your own terms, I am about to pour out clarity in measures your heart is finally strong enough to carry. Get ready. The shield is lifting. And when you see what I've preserved for you, you'll bless the confusion that once felt cruel. You'll weep, not out of pain, but out of realization. I never left you. I was guarding what only a healed version of you could hold. Every no was actually a rerouting. Every closed door was me keeping what's holy from being trampled in places not prepared. There is something you need to see, child, and I need you to see it through my eyes. Every time a door slammed shut in your face, you took it personally. You wondered if you were unworthy, unready, or simply forgotten. But let me correct your vision today. Those no's were never rejections. They were redirections. Divine reroutes with eternal intention. I don't shut doors because I'm angry, I shut them because I'm holy. I don't withhold out of cruelty, I preserve what's sacred. And you, my beloved, carry something sacred, something tailored, something specific to your fingerprint and your assignment. Not every environment is fit to receive what I've placed inside you. Not every platform is built to sustain your mantle. That's why I shut some doors with finality. Doors you begged me to open, places you cried to enter. But what you called missed opportunities, I called mercy. What you grieved, I guarded. Because a holy thing placed in unholy hands becomes a casualty. And I would not allow the treasure I've crafted within you to be mishandled by those not anointed to steward it. Do you understand now why I had to say no? Why I had to close the door before you walked through it? Because some places weren't rejecting you. They were rejecting me in you. And rather than allow your heart to be shattered in places that only saw your gifting and not your identity, I rerouted you. I whispered stop when everything said go. I tugged on your spirit when logic said leap. And though it hurt, it saved you. You don't even know what I saved you from. False affirmation, exploitative opportunities, counterfeit alliances. I saw behind the smiles. I discerned what your discernment hadn't yet matured to detect. And so I shut it down. Not to frustrate you, but to fortify you. Because what I'm building in your life now is not momentary influence. It's generational impact. And that kind of movement cannot be launched from contaminated soil. You've been asking me why it's taken so long. And I'm answering now with full exposure. Because not everything that looks like promotion is protection. And I protect what's mine. I protect you. Child, the time is coming. Quickly. When you'll look back and bless every no. You'll praise me for the plans I blocked. The relationships I dismantled. The timelines I disrupted. Because those reroutes were not delays. They were destiny corrections. I was getting you off detours before you even knew you'd missed the main road. And now, I'm placing you on the path I always intended. Not the easy path, but the one marked with divine fingerprints and holy fire. And here's what you need to know now. The next door that opens, you won't have to kick it down. You won't have to force it or manipulate it or water yourself down to fit inside it. The door I'm opening now will recognize you. It will be ready for you because I've prepared both it and you in secret. And when you walk through it, you will know. This wasn't a coincidence. It was compensation. For every no, for every reroute, for every night you cried in confusion, wondering if I'd forgotten your name. I didn't forget. I fortified. And now, the holy thing I preserved is ready to be revealed. Walk forward. The door is opening. And this time, it won't shut. You were not being punished. You were being positioned. The delays were divine appointments dressed in disguise. My beloved, there's something I need you to understand, and not with your intellect, but with your spirit, with the inner chambers of your soul that have been weary of the weight and exhausted by what looks like pause. You've looked at the delays and assumed they meant disqualification. You've watched doors remain unopened and interpreted it as rejection. But I tell you now, with the weight of heaven behind my voice, you were never being punished. You were being positioned. What you call detours, I call divine design. What you saw as wasted time, I saw as the sacred architecture of alignment. You were not left behind. You were led ahead in ways that didn't match your calendar but perfectly matched your calling. Every delay held my fingerprints. Every slowdown was a sovereign steering. And I need you to stop judging your journey by the pace of others. They are not your measure. I am. Do you think I would invest this much in you only to abandon you mid-process? You truly believe I would begin something holy only to leave it unfinished? No, child. I have been orchestrating every moment, even the ones that didn't look divine. I buried purpose in places you called painful. I built muscle in seasons you mistook for missteps. The delay wasn't denial, it was direction. It was me, holding you back so I could position you forward. Like a master archer pulls the arrow backward before it's released with power, I pulled you into obscurity to launch you into visibility. I kept you hidden because what I've placed in you is too valuable to be mishandled. I didn't need your timeline. I needed your trust. And while you were measuring minutes, I was measuring your capacity. I saw the places that still needed healing, the wounds that needed closing, the questions that needed maturing. I wasn't ignoring your requests. I was preparing your response. Even when it felt like the world was moving and you were standing still, even then, I was working. I was weaving timelines, conversations, divine intersections. I was positioning people, lining circumstances, rearranging resources, all while you wondered if I had forgotten. But I tell you this now, not one second was wasted. Not one moment was overlooked. You weren't standing still. You were standing under preparation. The delay wasn't because I was slow, it was because I was strategic. And now, the tides are turning. Now, what I positioned you for is about to unfold. You'll see the divine dots connect. You'll realize why certain things didn't make sense until this exact moment. And you'll understand it wasn't punishment. It was precision. I wasn't late. I was right on time. And that time is now. Every no was actually a routing. Every closed door was me keeping what's holy from being trampled in places not prepared. Let's revisit something, child, not to repeat, but to reinforce. Because the enemy would love nothing more than to keep you chained to confusion over the doors I closed. So let me say it again, with even greater force this time. Every no was not the sound of rejection. It was the sound of redirection. It was me, your God, stepping between you and something that looked like a blessing but hid a burden. Every time a door slammed, it wasn't to punish your faith, it was to protect your future. I do not deal in random denials. I deal in righteous timing. I know what's behind the doors you cry for. I see what you cannot see. I see the fine print, the hidden motives, the spiritual infections that are masked as opportunities. I see the temptations that would have strangled your growth, the applause that would have drowned out my whisper, the comfort that would have derailed your calling. That's why I closed them. That's why I turned your steps even when you begged to stay. You think I take joy in your frustration. No, my child. I take joy in your fulfillment. That's why I said no, because I wanted to protect your yes. The yes that is coming. The yes that's on the way. The yes that was never going to fit in rooms that couldn't carry the weight of your anointing. I didn't let you settle because I didn't make you small. I didn't let you fit in because you were never meant to blend in. You are marked, handpicked, heaven designed, and the no's you thought were robbing you were actually preserving what I had reserved for you. I kept your name out of rooms that would have chewed you up and spit you out. I did allow you to be platformed by people who saw you as useful but never saw you as valuable. I shielded you, even from the stage you prayed for, because that stage wasn't ready for your substance. And you weren't created to perform. You were born to transform. So now, watch what I do with every place that shut you out. Watch how I prepare tables in the presence of your process. Watch how I use those very denials as doorways into something divine. Because I'm not done. I'm just beginning. The closed doors weren't the end. They were the narrowing that leads to the exact path I've had written in heaven's scrolls for you. The rerouting wasn't detour, it was destiny realigned. I know it didn't feel like protection at the time. I know it's done. I know it made you question your value. But can you see now? Can you see why I had to say not here, not now, not them? You were never meant to be someone's option. You are my intentional masterpiece. And I will not allow what I've ordained to be diluted by environments not built to honor you. So walk forward now with clarity, not confusion. Walk with your head high, not heavy. The doors that were closed were not dead ends. They were detours leading to divine destiny. And the door that I am opening now, O child, it will not require compromise. It will carry confirmation. It will be soaked in peace and dripping in favor. You won't have to knock. It will swing wide at the sound of your name. Because heaven remembers, and heaven rewards. I am speaking now with urgency because what comes next requires your full cooperation. This moment is not passive. It's participatory. My beloved, hear me clearly. This is not just a word to comfort you. This is a summons, a sacred shift that requires your full attention, your full surrender, your full cooperation. What I'm doing in your life now isn't something I will simply place in your hands while you stand still. It is something I want to co-labor with you in. This is a divine partnership, not a passive experience. You've asked me for breakthrough, for direction, for open doors. But now I'm asking you, are you ready to participate in what I'm pouring out? Because what's coming next is not going to be handed to you wrapped in ease. It will arrive wrapped in invitation. You must step into it. You must move when I say move, speak when I say speak, and let go when I ask you to release. This moment is not decorative. It is decisive. It is not optional. It is ordained. You've been standing at the threshold of transformation, wondering when the shift will happen. But here's the truth I need you to absorb with every fiber of your being. The shift begins with your yes. Not a partial yes. Not a maybe when it's comfortable yes. But a full, fiery, trembling, irrevocable yes. I'm not calling you to a season of waiting. I'm calling you to a season of willingness. A season where your cooperation becomes the catalyst for what I've already released in the spirit. You've prayed for me to move, but now I'm asking you to match my momentum. Will you rise when I whisper? Will you pivot when I point? Will you stop rehearsing the same hesitations that have kept you shackled to the familiar and start rehearsing obedience like it's your new native language? Because, child, what comes next cannot be built with half-hearted belief. It requires fierce alignment. It requires fearless trust. I am not asking you to understand everything. I'm asking you to obey me even when it doesn't make sense. This next movement of my spirit in your life will not wait for your logic to catch up. It will move at the speed of surrender. And I need your yes to be strong enough to carry the weight of unexpected instructions. Some of what I will ask you to do will feel like letting go of good things to make room for God things. Some of what I ask you to speak will go against the current of popular opinion. Some doors will require you to walk alone. But know this, you are never alone. I am with you, not observing from the outside, but moving from within, breathing strategies into your spirit, placing courage in your hands like fire on your fingertips. I am releasing divine downloads, but they are encrypted for the obedient. They will not be unlocked by spectators, only participants. So this is the hour, child. The hour of motion. The hour of movement. The hour of yes. This moment carries weight because you are not just receiving a word, you are receiving a commission. And heaven is watching to see what you do with it. Will you delay or will you decide? Will you scroll past this as another spiritual message, or will you sit with it, weep with it, rise with it, and walk into the fire of obedience with me. I promise you, the reward on the other side is not just breakthrough. It is becoming. You will become who you've only seen in glimpses, and I will walk with you every step. But the next chapter turns not with emotion, it turns with your action. Say yes, not later. Now, I am revealing what was always yours, not what you earned, but what I preserved. And nothing can steal it now. Listen closely, my child. I'm not handing you leftovers. I'm not giving you scraps from someone else's blessing. I'm not scrambling to respond to your desperation. No, what I'm placing into your life now was always meant for you. Not because you performed perfectly, not because you prayed flawlessly, but because I wrote your name into the scroll of this promise before the foundations of the earth were laid. I didn't wait to see how well you would behave before I designed your destiny. I crafted it in full knowledge of your weaknesses, your delays, your detours, and I preserved it anyway. That's what I'm revealing now. Not a reward, a restoration, not a prize for perfection, but a manifestation of my eternal love, an inheritance that can no longer be postponed, polluted, or stolen. You thought you lost time. You thought too many years had passed, too many mistakes had been made. But hear me, child, I do not deal in losses. I deal in legacy. I was never measuring your progress with a stopwatch. I was measuring your heart with eternity. And what I preserved for you, I preserved with holy fire. I wrapped it in my own blood. I sealed it behind doors no demon could open. I hid it in places where human hands could not contaminate it. That's why it took so long, because what I had for you was being kept in conditions only glory could withstand. And now, the appointed time has come. Not just any time. The appointed time. The divinely measured, meticulously timed, irrevocably aligned moment where heaven hands over what hell couldn't stop. This is not something you can explain to others. It won't make sense. I'll ask, where did this come from? And you will answer, from the God who never forgets. Because this was not about visibility, it was about viability. What I preserved was not delayed because you failed. It was delayed because you mattered too much to release prematurely. And now, I am unveiling it. Not with a whisper, with a roar, with the thunder of promises fulfilled, with the kind of alignment that causes even your enemies to ask for a front row seat. What you're about to walk in is not borrowed. It's not shared. It is yours. Yours because I said so. Yours because I saw your yes even when it was soaked in tears. Yours because I chose you, not because of your perfection, but because of your position, the posture of surrender, of staying when it would have been easier to run. So now, receive it. Don't shrink. Don't stutter. Don't second guess what I'm giving you. It is yours. Not by luck, but by lineage. Not by striving, but by sealing. I am revealing what was always yours, and this time, nothing can steal it. Not the enemy. Not insecurity. Not delay. Not doubt. I've shut the mounds of accusation. I've silenced the voices of shame. I've cleared the atmosphere. And I am delivering what I preserve right into your hands. Handle it with reverence, walk in it with courage, and never again question your worth in my eyes. You are mine. And what I kept for you is holy. There were things behind the scenes you never saw. Attacks that never reached you. Conversations that could have ruined you, silenced by my hand. Child, there are scrolls written in heaven about the battles I fought on your behalf, battles you never even saw. Every step you took in what seemed like ordinary days was actually a dance along the edge of warfare. And I was there. I was your shield in shadows. I was your unseen advocate, standing between you and devastation disguised as opportunity. You think I was silent, but I was loud in the spirit realm. I stood in boardrooms you didn't know existed. I stood at the edge of phone calls that would have cost you your peace. I intercepted conversations, dismantled rumors, raced agendas, and disrupted demonic schemes that had your name scribbled on them. While you were sleeping, I was securing. While you were resting, I was wrestling the darkness on your behalf. Not every blessing is seen, child. Some are battles never fought, because I already won them for you. I've canceled calamities you never knew were coming. There were betrayals being plotted in secret. I disarmed them. There were whispers being spoken behind closed doors. I shut them down with one breath. There were hands lifted against you. I tied them with the cords of justice. And when the enemy came in like a flood, I raised a standard so high that the waves crashed against my wall and scattered back into silence. You never knew how close the attack came, and that's the point. I didn't let it touch you. You saw delays but didn't see the danger I blocked. You experienced what felt like rejection, but what actually was redirection wrapped in divine armor. I had to keep you from paths that were booby-trapped with distractions, from people whose abode was poisoned, from opportunities that sparkled like gold but were hollow and harmful. And listen to me, there were doors I shut violently. You thought the force of it meant something was wrong with you, but the force was because of the urgency. I slammed the door, not to startle you, but to save you. I silenced voices that would have shattered your confidence. I snatched relationships out of your grasp before they became idols that warped your worth. I heard every lie formed against you and turned them into dust before they hit the air. You want to know if I've been active? I've been more than active. I've been aggressive in protecting what's sacred. And what's sacred, child, is you. Your peace. Your path. Your promise. I've moved angels like chess pieces. I've rearranged timelines. I've orchestrated coincidences that were actually covert interventions. All of it for you. Don't you ever believe the lie that I've been passive or indifferent. Heaven has been loud in your defense. So now, I pulled back the curtain just enough to show you, not to scare you, but to settle you. Settle you in the truth that you are covered beyond comprehension. And yes, there will be times you feel surrounded, but know this: for every visible challenge, there are invisible victories stacked behind you. For every whisper of war, there are walls I've built with my own word. You are not just loved. You are guarded. You are not just guided. You are garrisoned. And this protection wasn't because you prayed perfectly. It's because you belong to me. You are mine. Loved. What? Secure. Always. Your suffering wasn't random. It was sacred ground where your spirit learned to listen when your heart was tired. Come closer. Sit with me in this truth. I know the suffering. I saw the nights that tried to swallow your hope whole. I watched the way your hands trembled as you reached for promises that felt more like echoes than certainties. I heard the ache between your words, the prayer behind your silence, the tears that carried no sound but spoke volumes. And I want to tell you now, not one moment of your suffering was random. Not one tear was wasted. Not one loss was forgotten. You walked through fire, yes, but that fire was not for destruction. It was for refinement. You were not burned to ashes. You were branded with glory. The suffering you walked through became sacred soil, holy ground where your soul was stretched and your ears were trained. You learned to hear me in the hollow. You learned to trust me in the tension. You learned to lean into whispers, when the roar of grief tried to drown you. The pain built altars. Altars of memory, of worship, of unwavering intimacy. Yes, I saw how tired your heart became, how numb you felt at times, how tempted you were to give up, how the weight almost crushed you. But still you stayed. Still you reached. Still you trusted. And that, my beloved, is why your suffering has become sacred. Not because you endured it perfectly, but because you didn't run away. You let the pain press you into me. You let the sorrow strip away the false things. You let the breaking become birthing. And now, what once felt like a grave is becoming a garden. I will cause every seed sown in suffering to rise with power. And not just any power, resurrection power. The kind that turns bitter water sweet. The kind that makes beauty bloom from ashes. The kind that writes your story in the ink of victory. You see, child, I'm not afraid of your pain. I never was. I sat with you in it. I held you when you couldn't hold yourself. I heard every groan, every question, every shattered hope. And now, I hold all of that in my hands, and I say, it's holy. It's usable. It's powerful. What broke you down is now what will build others up. What exhausted you is now where I'll release fresh oil. The pain wasn't the end, it was the portal. And you didn't die in it. You survived. You emerged. You're still here. And because you're still here, I will use every moment for glory. Not just to bless you, but to bless others through you. Your pain has become prophecy. Your suffering has become strength. And now, my child, I will anoint you with the oil of endurance. What tried to kill you will now kneel before you. Because I never waste pain. I redeem it. Completely. And I begin today. What once confused you is about to clarify everything. I'm flipping the script. You're about to see the full picture, and it will make you weep with wonder. Child, lean in. The fog that once obscured your understanding is about to lift, not gradually, but suddenly. Like the lifting of a veil, like the pulling back of heaven's curtain, I am about to show you the full picture. You've wandered through seasons where nothing made sense. You've stared at disconnected moments, wondering if they were ever meant to lead anywhere at all. The confusion became a cloud that hovered over your faith. You believed, but you limped. You trusted, but you trembled. And still you waited. Still, you whispered, God, just help me see. And now I answer not with a glimpse, but with glory. I am flipping the script. I am turning the page. What felt like scattered puzzle pieces is about to snap together in divine alignment. And when you see it, when you truly see it, not with your natural eyes, but with the eyes of revelation, you will fall to your knees in awe. There are things I kept from your sight on purpose, not to torment you, but to train you. Had I revealed everything earlier, you would have run ahead prematurely. You would have stepped through doors not designed to sustain your future. But now your eyes have been matured by mercy. Your discernment hath been deepened through delay. And I can finally show you what I've been doing all along. You will look back and see my hand in every no, my signature in every silence, my presence in every pause. The storms that shook you didn't scatter you. They secretly positioned you. The losses that crushed you didn't erase your calling. They enhanced your capacity. I used it all. The heartbreak, the hesitation, the hard places. Nothing was wasted. You only saw chapters, but I was writing the conclusion. And now, child, the mystery becomes message. The chaos becomes clarity. And the script you thought had unraveled is being rewritten in front of your very eyes. Watch now as I connect what seemed disconnected. I will reveal why that person had to leave, why that opportunity never came through, why that door remained shut despite your fasting and faithfulness. I will unveil why certain relationships dissolved, why you were called into isolation, why you felt invisible while others rose. I will show you how I was guarding your capacity, not cursing your timeline. Because this thing I'm building through you isn't fragile. It's not surface level. It's deep. It's divine. And it required foundations that could only be formed in hiddenness. So I let the spotlight pass over you. I let the platform skip you. Not because I was ignoring you, but because I was investing in you. And now, what once made you question everything will make you worship like never before. You'll see how precision marked your path, how every delay was divinely choreographed, and the questions that once haunted your heart will collapse into holy understanding. So let the weeping come, but let it be the weeping of wonder. Not sorrow, not confusion. Wonder, not reverence for the God who never wastes anything, who never forgets, never forsakes, never failed. You're about to witness my faithfulness in full color. The revelation won't just answer your pain, it will anoint it. And through it, I will launch you. With clarity in your eyes and confidence in your step, you will walk forward not asking why, but declaring wow. Get ready. I'm flipping the script, and it will turn your mourning into marvel. You've heard me speak, child, and now, just as I've poured into you, I'm calling you to pour into the ones still waiting for this word. The same fire that's been ignited in your soul through these messages must now become a spark for others. The Lord gives the word. The messengers are a mighty army, Psalm 68:11, and I'm calling you to stand among them. When you give, whether through super thanks, membership, or the link below, you're sowing kingdom seed into eternal ground. Your giving is not a transaction. It is a trumpet. It says, Lord, I agree. This word must go further. I promise you, what you sow in obedience will not return void. I will multiply it like oil in jars, manna in wilderness, light in the darkness. Give now, and let your yes become someone else's awakening. You thought you were too broken, too late, too far gone. But I'm proving now, nothing is too hard for me. Nothing. Come closer, child, not with shame, but with trust. Because I know what you thought. I know what lies have looped in your head like background noise. I'm too broken. I've missed too much. It's too late. God's probably moved on to someone else by now. But I'm here, right here, breaking through the noise to declare once and for all, nothing is too hard for me. Nothing. Not the years you lost. Not the wounds you've hidden. Not the addictions, not the doubts, not the detours. You think you're the exception, that somehow your mistakes outran my mercy. But child, my reach is longer than your rebellion. My grace is wider than your shame. And what you thought disqualified you has actually made you the perfect candidate for what I'm about to do. You see brokenness. I see building blocks. You see ashes. I see altars. You see ruins. I see resurrection. Nothing is wasted with me. I take what others discard and turn it into deliverance. And I need you to stop replaying the scenes of failure like they're the final chapter. They're not. I am the author, and I'm still writing. The pen is in my hand, not the enemy's, not your pasts, not your traumas, mine. And the same power that raised the dead, the same voice that called Lazarus from the grave, is the power that now calls you out of despair, out of delay, out of disqualification. You are not too far gone. You are not too late. You are not beyond redemption. You are right on time for the miracle I've had waiting with your name etched on it. I specialize in impossible cases. I am the God who split seas, calmed storms, walked on water, and rolled away stones. And that same power is now moving in your direction. I'm not intimidated by your mess. I move in the middle of it. I bring beauty from the ugliest places. I call potential out of the deepest pain. And child, I have never stopped calling you. Even when you stopped calling me. Even when you numbed your heart to hope. Even when you thought you wound everything. I saw the embers beneath the ashes. And now I'm blowing fresh wind. Revival. Redemption. Restoration. It's happening, not someday but now. You don't need to fix everything to be found. I'm finding you right here, right now. So lift your head. Let go of the lies. Let go of the timeline that told you it was over. It's not. It's beginning. And when people ask, how did you come back from that? You'll answer, I did. It came for me. That's who I am. The God who comes for the broken, the late, the weary, the lost. And when I restore, I do it so completely, the world forgets you were ever in ruins. So watch me work, child. Watch me make impossible look inevitable. Watch me redeem what they said couldn't be restored. Because I specialize in proving one truth over and over again. Nothing, absolutely nothing, is too hard for me. I didn't forget you. I didn't abandon you. I didn't skip you. The timing wasn't rejection, it was refinement. Beloved, hear me, not with the ears of your disappointment, but with the ears of your spirit. I know how many times you've looked around and felt forgotten. I know the ache in your chest when others got picked, when others stepped into blessings, when others celebrated wins you were still believing for. I know how many times you smiled on the outside while your heart whispered, God, did you skip me? But I need to pierce that lie with the fire of truth. I did not forget you. I did not abandon you. I did not overlook you or bypass your name in the archives of heaven. I've had my eye on you since before you were formed. I numbered your days before you lived a single one. I sculpted your destiny with divine detail, not as a copy, but as a masterpiece. And the delay you felt was not rejection. It was refinement. I wasn't holding you back to hurt you. I was holding you back to shape you. What you thought was me ignoring you was actually me investing in you, building foundations so deep the surface couldn't hold them. You weren't skipped, you were safeguarded. I wouldn't let you step into rooms that would have swallowed you whole. I wouldn't allow premature exposure to corrupt what I was cultivating in secret. Child, the season of refinement was not punishment. It was protection. When others got accelerated, you got anchored. When others got applause, you got altar time. When others got visibility, I gave you vision. And while it felt like a wilderness, it was actually the womb of your next season. I have not been idle. I have been intensely, intimately involved, pruning, preparing, preserving. You haven't been missing out. You've been marked. I've hidden you for such a time as this. Not to delay you, but to deploy you with precision. The depth I've built in you during the silence will sustain you when the spotlight finds you. The patience you cultivated in obscurity will guard your character when influence comes. You are not behind. You are on divine schedule. Every setback recalibrated your steps. Every disappointment deepened your discernment. Every prayer prayed through tears became a seed. And now, the harvest is approaching. Not because you fought harder than others. Not because you figured everything out. But because you stayed, even when you didn't understand. You trusted me when all evidence pointed toward silence. And that kind of faith, the kind that waits in the shadows, is the kind I reward openly. So let me say it one more time, and let it crush every lingering echo of doubt. I didn't skip you. I didn't forget you. I was simply refining you. Because the weight of what's coming required you to be built for it, not just excited by it. And now, the construction is nearly complete. You are not just ready for the promise. The promise is ready for you. Walk forward in confidence, not because of what you've done, but because of what I've built in you when no one was watching. This next chapter isn't proof that I remembered you. It's proof that I never forgot. I'm not restoring you to who you were. I'm resurrecting you into someone new. Someone you've never even met yet, but heaven has always known. Beloved, come close. This word is not just a reminder. It is a rebirth. I know what you've prayed for. I've heard you ask me to bring you back to the person you used to be, the version of you before the heartbreak, before the betrayal, before the failure, before the silence. I've heard the nostalgia in your spirit, the longing to rewind the clock and return to a you that felt whole. But I must tell you the truth, child. I am not taking you backward. I am not restoring what once was. I am resurrecting what has never been. I am raising up a version of you that you have yet to meet, stronger, deeper, wiser, more radiant with glory. This is not a recovery. It's a resurrection. I'm not recycling your past. I'm revealing your prophecy. You see, resurrection doesn't mean putting broken pieces back in place. It means creating something entirely new from what once seemed lifeless. And that's what I'm doing in you. I'm not gluing together fragments. I'm breathing into ashes. I'm not returning you to a version that trauma tried to steal. I'm unveiling the version that only fire could forge. You are not who you were before the pain, and that's a good thing. Because now you're forged. Now you're fire tested. Now, you know how to stand without applause, how to worship without answers, how to believe without backup. You've developed roots in the silence. You found me in the famine. And now, what's emerging from the soil of suffering isn't just a comeback, it's a completely new creation. You've never seen this you before. But I have. Heaven has. And now, the earth will too. Don't long for what I've already outgrown in you. That former version was beautiful for its season, but this version, this resurrected version, carries oil. It carries authority. It carries anointing forged in pain and pressed in the crushing. You are stepping into a strength that's not performative but prophetic. You won't need to prove yourself. You'll simply walk in the purity of who I've made you to be. There's no need to compete. No need to compare. Because this identity wasn't borrowed, it was birthed. And nothing and no one can counterfeit what I've authentically cultivated in you. So arise. Not as who you were, but as who I've been forming all along. Shake off the nostalgia that tempts you to settle. Step into the revelation of who you are now. You are not going back. You are going forward. And every step will echo resurrection. What the world thought was your ending will now become your entrance. The you that died in disappointment is not the you that's rising. What's coming out of this moment is more than restored. It's redefined. Heaven has waited for this unveiling. And now, it's time. Rise, child. The real you, the resurrected you, is ready to be revealed. You've misunderstood the quiet. It wasn't absence. It was the echo before the revelation. Beloved child, can you be still with me here in this moment? I sense how deeply you felt the silence. That silence that echoed through empty rooms. That silence that pressed on your eardrums when you were crying out for a whisper, for any sign. It felt like absence, didn't it? It felt like I wasn't listening, that I'd moved on, or worse, forgotten you. But I tell you now, that was not my silence. It was holy hush. I wasn't absent. I was not distant. I was constructing the atmosphere for my voice to drop. You've misunderstood the quiet, thinking it meant separation, but no. It was set up. It was the soft stillness before the thunder. So don't recoil from that place. Lean in. The echo you thought you heard. That echo was heaven's breath gathering in preparation for revelation. Quiet doesn't always mean vacancy. Sometimes it's the woo before birth. Sometimes it's the pause before promise. I wasn't ignoring your prayers. I was intensifying them in the spirit realm. I'm not a God who hides in the hush. I'm a God who chooses the height to heighten the clarity. In quiet, depth is forged. In stillness, sensitivity is sharpened. You thought your faith was being tested, but it was being thickened. You thought you were alone in the silence, but you were not. Angel station stood vigil. The Spirit watched over every tear. Your quiet moments weren't wasted. They were weaving. They were preparing your heart to receive what you once would have missed. So, when revelation comes, it will crash across every broken space, redeeming the misunderstanding of your quiet. I need you to hear this as clearly as eternity hears it, that quiet was intentional. It was not to condemn you. It was to cultivate you. I wasn't distancing myself from your pain. I was divorcing you from distractions. While the world screamed for your attention, I leaned in just enough so the whisper of my love could be amplified in the silence. The quiet wasn't to trap you in confusion. It was designed to tune your soul to heaven's frequency. You didn't hear me because your world was too loud. So I turned down the chatter, and in that sacred silence, I spoke the words that water your future. Now I begin to release them. What felt like extension of absence will become extension of revelation. So don't be afraid of the quiet anymore. It was not the absence of my voice. It was my voice in waiting, ready to shatter your questions with clarity. Let the echo resound. Let revelation rise. The pressure that stretched you is now the vessel that will carry this truth. You didn't crack. You expanded. My beloved, I watched you bend under pressure like a reed in the wind, fearing that at any moment you'd snap. Every deadline, every expectation, every burden felt like it would crush you. And yet, here you stand, somehow fuller, not fractured. That pressure was not designed to break you. It was meant to stretch you. You are not broken. You are being broadened. You see that? You didn't crack under the weight. You expanded. Under stretch you, gold grows thinner and stronger. Under refining heat, stones become smooth and polished. This was not damage. It was divine development. Every strain edited your capacity. You don't carry less faith today. You carry deeper faith. Not smaller vision, but broader vision. The weight wasn't to undo you. It was to embolden you. Look back again at the places where the weight felt unbearable. The moments you wanted to fall, yet didn't. That was me not letting you break. I will not allow what's too weak to hold me to collapse. Instead, I strengthen. The very pressures that once threatened you are now forming a reservoir within you. And that reservoir, in time, will pour out healing, conviction, presence to others. You weren't being diminished. You were being ordained to contain more. Your soul expanded. And now, that expansion is the vessel for my truth. In the days ahead, you will not just speak my revelation. you'll carry it with credibility because you've been stretched into the posture that can hold it. You didn't crack. You were contained. You didn't snap. You were shaped. And here's the promise. What once pressed upon you will now propel you. The exact strain that almost broke you will become the springboard for your breakthrough. This is not poetic. It's prophetic. You are a walking testimony of what pressure does not destroy. You are the portrait of expansion under pressure. So say this: I didn't crack. I expanded. And believe it. Because the future requires a vessel strong enough to bear my truth, deep enough to carry my light, wide enough to reflect my glory. And that vessel is you. Treasured, strengthened, expanding, ready. I have not just been writing your story. I've been weaving your legacy, and generations will rise because of your obedience now. Child, do you understand the weight of this moment? What you think is only about your life is so much larger. You see a single chapter. I see a legacy. You feel the cost of this current obedience. I see the ripple effects that will echo across generations. You feel the ache in your yes. I see the altars your yes is building, not just for you but for your children's children. I have not just been writing your story. I have been weaving a tapestry that touches eternity. What I am doing through your obedience now is creating pathways for those who haven't even been born yet. Every tear you shed in surrender, every moment you chose me over comfort, every time you said, "Yes, Lord," even when it hurt, I saw it. I documented it in the scrolls of heaven. And I am using it. Not just to bless you, but to bless what will come from you. I'm not after shallow obedience. I'm after legacy-level impact. I'm after eternal fruit. That's why I've asked for things that felt costly. That's why I've closed certain doors and pruned certain relationships. You didn't understand why the sacrifice had to be so deep, but I was never only thinking of you. I was thinking of your legacy. Of those who will rise up and say, because she didn't quit, I can believe. Because he stayed faithful, I found strength to stay. You see now, child, I'm weaving something so much bigger than what your eyes can see. And that's why I kept the full picture hidden, not to confuse you, but to protect the magnitude of what I'm building through your life. You carry weight. You carry inheritance. You carry breakthrough not just for you, but for bloodlines, for cities, for atmospheres. And listen carefully. I do not waste obedience, even in private, even in the dark, even when no one uploaded and no one noticed. Heaven noticed. Angels stood still when you whispered yes through tears. You shifted spiritual atmospheres just by remaining steadfast. The world didn't see the ripple, but I did. And child, the reward is not just coming in the form of personal breakthrough. It's coming in generational blessing. You've broken things in the spirit that your ancestors couldn't. You've opened doors for the future that will never close again. You've paved roads in prayer that your family will walk on without stumbling. This is legacy. This is lineage. This is obedience with eternal consequence. So stand up straighter now. You are not just surviving a hard season. You are stewarding a holy bloodline. You are carrying what your lineage cried for. You are birthing what heaven has waited generations to release. And I'm not asking for perfection. I'm asking for presence. For your presence, your willingness to keep saying yes, even when you don't see how it all fits together. Trust me. I am the author and the finisher, and what I'm writing with your life is a legacy of glory. You have no idea how close you are. The warfare has intensified because the release is near, nearer than your next breath. Child, if you only knew how close you are, you wouldn't be second-guessing the fight you're in right now. If you could see what I see, the thin veil between your now and your next, you would stop calling this season a setback. You would start calling it what it really is: labor pains before delivery. You've asked, why is it getting harder? Why is the pressure so relentless? And I tell you, it's because you're at the threshold. You're not in the middle anymore. You're right at the edge. The enemy knows what's coming, even when you don't. He sees the glow of my glory gathering above you. He senses the nearness of your release. And so he has thrown everything he can: confusion, heaviness, distraction, temptation, trying to wear you down before you cross over. But hear me, he is too late. You're too far in to back out now. Too deep to be derailed. Too pregnant with purpose to be aborted by warfare. You are not being attacked because you're weak. You're being attacked because you're anointed. You carry something weighty, and the closer you get, the louder the resistance becomes. But resistance is a sign of proximity. When the heat increases, it means the breakthrough is moments away. The closer a rocket gets to breaking the atmosphere, the more friction it encounters. But that friction doesn't mean failure. It means flight is inevitable. And child, you're at that place. The pressure is confirmation. The warfare is proof. You are not disqualified. You are not delayed. You are not behind. You are positioned perfectly, precisely, prophetically. And if you do not quit here, you will see what I've had waiting all along. Let me remind you, it's not just about endurance. It's about expectation. Because the delivery is not far off. It's closer than your next breath. It's not in the distance. It's not in a far-off future. It's at the door. And this isn't just poetic language. It's prophetic urgency. Heaven is ready. The angels are in position. The door is unlocking. And if you will hold on just a little longer, if you will keep worshiping in the waiting, keep praying through the pressure, keep declaring truth even when you feel depleted, then I will move suddenly, swiftly, like lightning flashing across the sky. I will break in, and the release that hits your life will not be small. It will be monumental. Not just answers to prayer, but fulfillment of promise. So now, hold your ground. Wrap yourself in my word. Let praise become your war cry, and refuse to believe that this pressure is your undoing. It's not. It's your unveiling. You are closer than you think, nearer than you feel. And I am nearer still, nearer than your next breath. Watch what I do. Don't you dare let go. You're too close to glory. Your prayers were never wasted breath. They were prophetic declarations that shook the spirit realm even when you couldn't feel it. Child, I need you to come closer now. Not with fear, not with shame, not with the weight of wondering whether I was listening. I have been listening. I have been bending low with every word you've released, every whisper you've dared to speak into the silence. Your prayers were never wasted breath. They were never futile sound. Each syllable you've poured out in the night, every plea soaked in tears, every silent sob, every shout from a place so raw it didn't even feel like prayer, I heard them all. And more than hearing them, I received them. Like incense rising into my throne room, they entered the very chambers of my presence. You thought you were speaking into nothingness, but in truth, you were releasing prophecy. You were commanding heaven with trembling hands. When you prayed from that place of desperation, when your knees hit the ground and your heart broke open, you were making war in the spirit, and you didn't even realize it. Your voice may have quivered, but your authority shook realms. You felt small, but your faith was loud. It was your obedience to keep speaking that caused angels to move. caused atmospheres to bend and demons to back off. You couldn't see it, but I did. You didn't feel it, but I was shifting things with every word you released. Even when it felt like nothing changed. When your circumstances seemed frozen in place, when time kept passing but the breakthrough didn't show up, your prayers were never in vain. They were seeds. Prophetic seeds, planted in the unseen soil of eternity. And those seeds are now sprouting in realms that are about to be revealed. I know the questions you've wrestled with in the quiet. God, do my prayers matter? Why does it feel like I'm speaking into a void? Are you even listening anymore? Yes, child. I have always been listening. But I wasn't just listening. I was storing. I was aligning. I was building. You see, some answers take time not because I am slow, but because what I am creating is too massive to rush. I have orchestrated divine timing, and your prayers have been one of the instruments tuning the next movement. They were declarations, blueprints, commands that paved roads for promises you haven't even dreamed yet. What you uttered in the night is now echoing into your future. The words you barely believed had power, they carried the full force of heaven, because I attached my authority to your surrender. Somehow, nothing was wasted. No breath, no groan, no echo and cry. You all matter. And now, as I move, you will see the ground that was broken by your faith. You will see the harvest of what felt like holy agony. You will walk in rooms your prayers built. You will see miracles your words unlocked. You were praying, but I was prophesying through you. And the shaking you feel now is the rumble of answered prayer rising from beneath your feet. Even when your voice trembled, I was listening. And now I'm responding with the full force of heaven's timing. Come here, beloved, closer than before. I need you to hear me now. Not just with your ears, but with the trembling places inside you that have questioned your worth, your strength, your belonging. I saw you in that moment. Yes, that one. The moment when your voice cracked mid-prayer, when the sentence you tried to form dissolved into sobs. When all you could offer me was a breath, a whisper, a single word through trembling lips. Help. You thought I needed eloquence, but I need only truth. And what you gave me in that moment wasn't weakness, it was worship. It was holy. Do you understand, child? I wasn't looking for a perfect presentation. I was looking for the authenticity that breaks chains. The trembling in your voice didn't repel me. It summoned me. You cried out from a place deeper than language, and I answered in dimensions deeper than sound. I have not just been listening. I've been responding, but not in your timing, in mine, in heaven's timing. And child, that timing is always perfect. It never delays. It never forgets. It never misses. And now, the time has arrived. You're about to see the response of heaven. Not a trickle, not a whisper, but a torrent. The full force of divine response crashing through every barrier, invading every silence, unraveling every delay. You didn't even realize it, but every time your voice trembled, you were still sowing. You sowed faith with every shaky word. You sowed trust with every silent night. And now the reaping is at hand. I responded not out of pity but out of covenant. Because I made a promise over you that I cannot break. And I will not allow your trembling voice to be remembered only by you. Heaven remembers it, too. Angels held their breath when you prayed. And now, I release the answer in a way that will leave you breathless in awe. This is the season of divine response. Not because you prayed perfectly, but because you prayed persistently. Not because you never wavered, but because even in the trembling, you never let go. So hear me, child. I am moving now, and what's coming will shake the ground beneath you. Your voice may have trembled, but my word over you never has. And now that word is being fulfilled, with fire, with power, with force. Get ready. Heaven is answering with thunder. You don't have to earn my love. You already have it. I'm not waiting for you to be perfect. I'm calling you as you are. You spent too many days trying to earn something I already gave you freely. Too many nights wondering if you were worthy, trying to calculate whether your faith was strong enough, your past clean enough, your heart steady enough. You have measured yourself against impossible standards, assuming I would only draw near if you got everything right. But I want to reach into that place now, the core of you that still believes love must be deserved, and break that lie. You don't have to earn my love. You already have it. My love is not a reward for good behavior. It is the atmosphere I designed for your very existence. I created you inside of it. You were wrapped in it before you even took your first breath. My love preceded your obedience and survived your failures. It stayed when others left. It remained when shame tried to convince you I couldn't. I have loved you at your worst, and I haven't changed my mind. You thought I was waiting for you to become someone better, someone more consistent, someone more prayerful, someone more holy. But I'm not calling you based on who you're trying to be. I'm calling you as you are. Not the polished version, not the public face, the real you, the exhausted you, the broken you, the battling you still struggling in secret you. I'm not ashamed of that version. That's the version I died for. That's the one I long to hold. The one who doesn't have the words but keeps showing up anyway. The one who cries between worship songs. The one who doubts and still dares to believe. Yes, that one. I love that one. I don't require perfection to pour out my presence. I don't demand performance to release my promise. All I've ever wanted was you. You with a cracked heart and trembling hands. You with the unfinished prayers and the unresolved questions. You are not disqualified. You are desired. I'm not standing at the end of the finish line, waiting for you to clean yourself up. I'm walking beside you through every fall, every setback, every wandering moment. My love is not distant. It is near. It is here. And nothing you've done, nothing you thought, nothing you feared has scared me away. I'm still here. Still choosing you. Still calling you by your name, not your mistakes. You don't have to earn what was never for sale. You just have to receive it. My arms are open. Come. This word has shaken something in you because it came straight from my heart. But child, this was never meant to stop with you. I'm raising up voices, messengers, channels, and you are one of them. Through your giving, my word runs faster, louder, and further than your voice could ever reach. Those who refresh others will themselves be refreshed. Proverbs 11:25. And your act of faith becomes a stream in someone else's desert. I've placed the invitation before you to stand as a financial intercessor, sowing into breakthrough by super thanks, membership, with a link below. Don't delay. This is not a tip. It's a trumpet. It signals heaven that you're part of the mission. Sow into this moment and watch me pour back into your life. Pressed down, shaken together, running over. Act now. Let your giving echo the urgency of what you've received. I'm not sending you back to where you came from. I'm sending you forward into what you were born for. You've been afraid that all of this stretching, this breaking, this refining, has been leading you in circles. That maybe, just maybe, you're about to end up back where you started. I've seen the thoughts cross your mind in the night, What if I'm just going back to the same place? Same struggles, same version of me I've been trying to grow beyond. But let me say this with thunder in my voice and tenderness in my heart. I'm not sending you back to where you came from. I'm not recycling your past. I'm redeeming your future. What's behind you served its purpose. What's ahead of you holds your promise. I am not a God of rewind. I'm a God of resurrection. You didn't walk through fire just to go back to comfort. You didn't cry those prayers just to return to familiar bondage. I'm sending you forward into the reason you were born. Forward into the place your pain was preparing you for. Forward into the divine territory your obedience has unlocked. And I know it's scary. I know forward feels fragile. But forward is where I am. And where I am is where your destiny unfolds. The place I'm leading you won't resemble the places you've left. It's not a copy. It's a calling. It's not familiar. It's divine. You've been trained in hiddenness for this. You've been forged in silence for this. You've been matured through delay for this. You were not just surviving. You were being positioned. And now the door is open. Not a door that leads back. A door that pulls you deeper into the unknown with me. I'm not asking you to have it all figured out. I'm asking you to follow me forward. Into the dream that felt too big. Into the promise that once felt too distant. Into the assignment you didn't think you were ready for. But I say you are. You are ready not because you have it all together, but because you've learned how to depend on me in the wilderness. You've learned to trust when sight was gone. You've learned to believe when nothing made sense. And now you're not going back. Not to the mindset. Not to the old cycles. Not to the limited version of who you thought you were. I've broken the chains of regression. Now rise. This is your Red Sea moment. The path is opening. Forward is holy. Forward is necessary. Forward is now. I'm not asking you to figure it all out. I'm asking you to follow me even when the map disappears. My beloved child, listen closely, because this is the part of the journey where many turn around, not because they're weak, but because the road ahead has vanished under their feet. But I tell you now, I am not asking you to map the way forward. I am not calling you to understand every step before you take it. I am calling you to trust me in the places where sight is no longer your compass. I'm calling you to follow me, not when everything is clear, but especially when it's not. This is the sacred place where maps end and miracles begin. This is where I separate those who need control from those who choose surrender. This is where trust becomes more than a word you say. It becomes the oxygen you breathe. When the map disappears, child, it doesn't mean you're lost. It means I'm leading. It means I am taking you by the hand and guiding you step by step, breath by breath, through terrain you would never choose. But I have already mastered. You've been told that faith means confidence in outcomes. But real faith, the kind that shakes heaven, is trust in me when outcomes feel impossible. You think you need clarity to move forward. I'm telling you all you need is me. And I have never left your side. I'm not asking you to calculate every detail to solve the equation of your destiny. I'm asking you to trust the one who designed the path long before you took your first step. Your map may be blank, but my memory is full. I remember every promise I made to you. I remember every prayer you whispered. I remember the moments when you almost quit, and I came close to you in the dark. I remember the way you still lifted your hands even when the path ahead vanished. And now, I am calling you deeper, not into confusion, but into communion. I don't want you to follow a formula. I want you to follow my voice. What if the absence of direction is not punishment, but promotion? What if I remove the map to teach you how to follow my breath? You were never meant to walk by sight. You were created to walk by faith, not shallow belief, but bone deep, storm surviving, wilderness tested faith. And you have it. Even when you doubt yourself, I don't. Because I see what's inside of you. I see what you carry. You carry a resilience that was born in fire. You carry a trust that was carved in silence. So when the way ahead disappears, don't panic. Look to me. When others build altars to fear, you will walk forward on rivers of trust. I never told you to figure it out. I told you to follow me. And the next step, it's not a destination. It's a decision to believe that I will guide you even in the unseen. When your feet don't know where to land, let your faith lead them. I'm about to do something new, not a recycled blessing, but a release that's never been seen before. Pose right here with me. I want you to feel the shift in the atmosphere. I want you to notice the holy tension that's been building, that trembling in your spirit, that stir that you can't quite name, that breathlessness when you pray. That's not anxiety. That's not fatigue. That is spiritual acceleration. That is the vibration of heaven announcing its approach. I have not forgotten you. I have not recycled your name to the bottom of the list. I have placed you at the edge of a divine unveiling. And I need you to hear me clearly. I'm not about to do something familiar. I'm about to do something new. Not new as in another version of the old. Not new as in something you've seen happen for others that I'll finally let happen for you. No, I'm talking about brand new, unprecedented, never-before-seen movement. This is not a recycled blessing. This is not the next installment of what you've already known. This is something that's never walked the earth before, and I am going to birth it through you. You've prayed for provision, but I'm sending revelation. You've asked for restoration, but I'm planning redefinition. You asked me to return you to what was lost, but I'm writing what's never existed. I'm not here to rewind your story. I'm here to resurrect a completely new chapter, one that couldn't begin until this moment, until you were ready. You thought delay meant denial, but delay was divine protection. I couldn't release this new thing while you were still craving the comfort of old things. You had to come to the end of certain mindsets. You had to outgrow what used to fit but now confines you. And you did. You let me stretch you, refine you, undress your ego and dress you in surrender. And now I can move. Now I can release what eyes haven't seen and ears haven't heard, because I know you won't worship the blessing. You'll worship me. Don't look to your left or right for reverence. What I'm about to do in your life cannot be compared. That's why it's felt so unfamiliar lately. You've been in the womb of something never birthed before. I've kept you hidden for this reason. I've protected you from platforms too small for the weight of what I am birthing in you. You are not late. You are not forgotten. You are in perfect alignment with the rhythm of heaven. The contractions you felt in your spirit, the pressure, the pain, the pruning, they're all indicators that the release is imminent. What's about to break through will be undeniably marked with my fingerprint. You won't have to strive to explain it or force it to happen. It will be. It will unfold like a sunrise, undeniable and irreversible. So breathe, child. Make room in your spirit. Empty your expectations because I am about to exceed them. This is the moment. This is the turning. I am doing something new, not recycled, not familiar, not borrowed. Brand new. And it starts now. The very thing the enemy used to try to destroy you, I'm turning it into the foundation of your testimony. Come closer, child. Let me talk to you about the pain, not in passing, not in vague poetic metaphors, but face to face, like a father who has watched every storm you've endured. I saw what tried to kill you. I saw what the enemy meant to fracture your soul, to bury you beneath rubble, to silence your voice and steal your breath. He came after you, and he didn't come lightly. He came for your mind. He came for your confidence. He came for your calling. But what he didn't know was this: he came too late. You were already marked. You were already sealed. He didn't know that I had already written the ending before the battle began. The very thing he thought would finish you, I am now using to forge you. The wound he thought would become a tombstone is becoming your microphone. The ashes he planned to scatter in shame, I'm shaping them into a platform of glory. I am not just redeeming your story. I'm using the enemy's own weapons as construction materials for your testimony. What tried to destroy you will now declare you. You've wondered, why did you let me walk through that? And I say to you, it wasn't because I was absent. It wasn't because I didn't care. It was because I knew what I had placed inside of you. I knew the strength I had hidden under your skin, the resilience I had braided into your spirit. And I knew that when the pressure came, when the fires rose, when the voices screamed, you wouldn't break. You'd awaken. You'd rise. The fire didn't consume you. It refined you. The trial didn't dismantle you. It delivered you from illusions you didn't even know you were trapped in. The enemy underestimated what happens when a child of God chooses to keep walking even while bleeding. He didn't realize that the crack in your soul was the exact place where my glory would pour through. And now, look, you're still standing. You're still worshiping. You're still praying. You're still moving forward. And every step you take now carries authority because you didn't read your testimony. You lived it. And now you'll speak from scars, not theories. You'll carry power, not just words. Because when you survive what was meant to bury you, your voice shifts atmospheres. Your breath breaks chains. You didn't survive by accident. You survived by design. You weren't lucky, you were chosen. You didn't just crawl out of the wreckage. You were carried by me. Every moment you thought you'd fall apart, my hand was underneath you. Every night you felt you couldn't make it to morning, I surrounded you with songs of deliverance. And now that you're standing on the other side, do you feel it? A trembling in your chest? That's not fear. That's commissioning. That's the sound of heaven releasing you into testimony. The story the enemy wanted to silence is about to shake nations. You're not a victim. You're a voice. You're not a remnant. You're a revivalist. You're not an echo. You're the beginning of something new. And the foundation beneath your feet is built from the very rubble that once tried to bury you. And I'm not ashamed of it. I'm proud of it. Because you let me turn devastation into declaration. You trusted me enough to hand over the broken pieces. And now, I'm handing you a story that no devil can dismantle. Get ready. What nearly destroyed you will now deliver others. I've seen every sacrifice you made in silence. And I'm about to reward what no one else saw. You didn't think anyone noticed, did you? Those long nights where your heart wrestled in the dark, while your lips stayed silent. Those private moments of surrender that didn't make it onto anyone's radar but mine. The time you gave, not because you had abundance, but because obedience was greater than comfort. I saw it. I saw the offering that cost you deeply. I saw you love without applause. I saw you forgive in secret. I saw the fasting when no one knew. I saw the way you interceded with tears that nobody else even noticed. And now I tell you this, Child, heaven was watching. Every private sacrifice you made in silence is about to be honored in public. I am not unjust to forget the labor of love you gave me behind closed doors. I recorded every moment. I treasured every decision that placed me first when it would have been easier to walk away. And I tell you now that I will not leave those moments unrewarded. The reward may not look how you expected. It may not arrive from the places you predicted. But what I'm sending will be undeniably divine. Undeniably me. A response from heaven, not man. You see, man applauds what's visible, but I reward what's sacred. What you did in silence was sacred. It was holy. It was the kind of obedience that doesn't need lights or microphones. The kind of sacrifice that echoes in eternity. When you chose me over your feelings. When you chose stillness over explanation. When you chose trust over retaliation. You made room for me to be glorified through you. And now I'm about to do just that. You've wept behind doors that others passed by. You've served in places that felt hidden, buried, unrecognized. But I was there. And now I'm not just opening a door. I'm honoring the doorway you stood in faithfully. The doorway of waiting. The threshold of not yet. The hallway of obedience. The space where others gave up but you remain. That space was your altar, and I received your surrender like fire on sacrifice. And now, I'm responding in fire. My glory is about to rest on your life in a way no one can ignore. Not because you chase visibility, but because you chose me in the shadows. And child, I want you to understand something even deeper. The reward I'm sending is not just an outcome. It's an announcement. It's me declaring over your life, I saw you. I'm with you. I'm proud of you. You've been walking for so long feeling like maybe your obedience got lost in the shuffle. Maybe your sacrifice was unseen. But I tell you, I am a God of justice, and I am a Father of recognition. I do not overlook faithfulness. I do not forget devotion. You gave me your yes, not for recognition, not for applause, but because you love me. That love is your fragrance, and now I am sending the oil of joy in return. Where you sowed in silence, you will reap in celebration. Where you wept in private, I will honor in public. Because that's who I am. I don't forget. I remember. And I reward not according to the world's timeline, but mine. And my time is now. Let me speak into that place where misunderstanding has tried to breed discouragement. You've been wondering why the breakthrough hasn't come yet. Why the answer seems delayed. Why the waiting feels like discipline. But hear me clearly. You are not being punished. You are being prepared. You are not forgotten. You are being formed. The delay is not my disapproval. It is my protection. It is my wisdom. The kind of calling I've placed upon you cannot be microwaved. It cannot be rushed. It cannot be manufactured. It must be matured. It must be shaped in the womb of waiting. You've cried out, Lord, why not now? And I respond, because what I'm building in you is bigger than a blessing. It's a legacy. If I gave it too soon, it would crush you. But I love you too much to bless you prematurely. You thought delay meant denial. But delay has been the divine classroom. The place where you've been rooted so deeply that when the winds blow later, and they will, you won't be shaken. You'll be anchored. You'll be immovable. The weight of your calling is not ordinary. You are not ordinary. I know the world moves quickly, but I am eternal. I do not rush what I love. And I love you too much to send you into battle with armor that hasn't been tested. That's why the wilderness has felt long. That's why the doors did open the first time you knocked. Not because you weren't worthy, but because you are. Because I needed to form in you what couldn't be forged in comfort. Strength, resilience, discernment, deep wells of compassion, authority that isn't shallow but rooted in pain turned into praise. These things take time, but they are worth it. And now, you are closer than you think. Closer to stepping into the very thing I whispered over you in the midnight of your surrender. You are not stuck. You are staged, positioned, poised for unveiling. Trust the hands that hold the calendar. Trust the voice that sees the end from the beginning. Trust that this delay is sacred, because you are sacred to me. So do not shrink back. Do not let the whispers of the enemy convince you that nothing is happening. Everything is happening, but beneath the surface. The roots are spreading. The pressure is producing. The preparation is deepening. And what I am building in the secret place will not remain hidden forever. Just like I revealed my son at the appointed time, after years of hiddenness, of preparation, of waiting, so too will I reveal you, not just to the world, but to yourself. You'll step into the fullness of what I've prepared, and you'll look back and say, now I see why it took this long. Until then, walk with me. Trust me. Hold fast. You're not behind. You're becoming. You keep thinking you missed it. But what's meant for you cannot be lost. I'm still holding it, and I'm holding you. How many times have you replayed the moment in your mind? That decision, that misstep, that crossroads where you wonder if you turned the wrong way. You've questioned it in silence. You've whispered it in prayer. Did I miss it? Did I forfeit it? Did I ruin what you had for me? And I, your Father, who knows the end from the beginning, I answer you now with unwavering love. No, you did not miss it. You are not disqualified. You are not disowned. What I destined for you does not evaporate because of detours. What I promised you is not paper. It is fire, and fire does not vanish in storms. You keep thinking that your future was fragile, that your mistake shattered the timeline of your calling. But beloved, I do not write your story with erasable ink. I engrave it with eternal hands. And my plans, though they may pause, they do not perish. You haven't lost what I've given you. It's not gone. It's not buried. It's held by me, safely, securely, until you're ready to carry it with reverence and weight. You think your failure has cost you your future. What would you call failure? I call formation. I use even your wrong turns to teach you how to listen more closely, to trust more deeply, to move more humbly. You didn't miss your moment. You matured for it. You didn't ruin your purpose. You've been refined for it. Yes, some things were delayed, some doors paused, some detours allowed. But none of it has erased what I spoke over your life before you were ever born. I'm not wringing my hands in heaven hoping you get back on track. I am the track. I'm the one who walks with you through every shadowed valley and every winding road. And when you think you've fallen too far, I whisper, you're still in my hands. Your destiny is not slipping through your fingers, because it's not being held by you. It's being held by me. And I don't let go. I don't fumble what I formed. I don't misplace what I died to redeem. You may feel lost, but what belongs to you is not lost. It's being preserved. You've heard people say, what's meant for you won't pass you by. And they speak it lightly. But I speak it to you now with holy authority. What I have appointed for your life cannot be intercepted by man, cannot be stolen by the enemy, and cannot be undone by your imperfection. If I needed perfection to fulfill my promises, none of my children would walk in destiny. What I need is surrender, but I long for His trust. And even when you faltered, even when you doubted, even when you turned away, your spirit never stopped searching for me, and I never stopped drawing near. I didn't cancel your calling when you stumbled. I carried it until you were ready to rise again and walk in it. You haven't been disqualified, you've been prepared. And I will redeem every wasted moment. I will reroute every wrong turn. I will even use what the enemy meant for destruction and weave it into the very tapestry of your testimony. So breathe, child. You didn't miss it. You're just on your way to it. The enemy tried to wear you down, but I am about to wear you into strength, into purpose, into your divine place. You felt it, haven't you? That slow, grinding resistance, that invisible pressure meant to wear you down little by little. The exhaustion that isn't just physical, it's spiritual, emotional, mental. The kind of weariness that sinks into your bones and whispers lies into your heart. The enemy thought if he couldn't destroy you in one blow, he'd weaken you through many, day by day, moment by moment. He hoped you'd lose your wonder. He hoped you'd lay down your weapon. He hoped you'd stop fighting. But what he didn't expect was your endurance. He didn't expect that even when you cried, you'd keep moving. Even when you questioned, you'd keep walking. Even when the answers didn't come, your worship still rose. And because of that, because you did not give up when it would have been easy to, I say to you now, with the authority of heaven, I am not letting this pain go to waste. I am not letting this pressure be pointless. I'm not letting this trial end in defeat. What the enemy used to wear you down, I'm using to wear you into something eternal. Wearing in is not weakness. It is wisdom. It is breaking in your armor, softening the ground beneath your feet, making sure the shoes you walk in now fit the terrain I've assigned you. You're being fitted, not for survival but for rulership. You're being worn into the place where your strength doesn't come from trying harder, but from trusting deeper. You've been asking me to take away the pressure, but I've been using the pressure to shape you. The trials didn't come to define you. They came to refine you, so that when I place you in your position of influence, your heart will be pure, your vision will be clear, your foundation will be unshakable. What you thought was resistance has actually been revelation. I've been revealing to you what you're really made of, and I'm proud of what I see. You think you're exhausted, but I see you strengthened. You think you're broken, but I see you battle-tested. You think you're disqualified, but I see a warrior being perfectly equipped for their next assignment. And now, child, you're ready. You've been worn into your next season. The armor that once felt heavy now fits like skin. The wisdom you had to wrestle for will now guide others into freedom. The tears you cried will now become oil, healing others with what you survive. You are not just surviving anymore. You are stepping into authority. The enemy tried to wear you down, but instead, I've worn you into the rhythm of grace, the strength of joy, the confidence of peace. You've been acclimated to my voice in the storm, to my presence in the pressure. You're no longer shaken by winds because you've walked through hurricanes. And what's next isn't about avoiding battles, it's about winning them. With me beside you, within you, surrounding you. You are not tired because you're weak. You're tired because you've been fighting long and well. But hear me now, this next move will not drain you. It will elevate you. What once wore you down will now lift you up. Because I have used every moment to build something unshakable in you. And now, you're ready. You've come through the fire. And now I'm clothing you in glory. You won't look like what you've been through. Come, child. Stand before me now and look at what remains. You thought the fire would leave you in ashes. You thought the furnace of affliction had stolen too much time, too much strength, too much of you. But I want you to look again. You've come through the fire, and what remains is pure gold. The fire didn't destroy you. It delivered you. It didn't break you. It refined you. It stripped away what couldn't stay so I could reveal what always belonged to you. The lies melted. The false identities burned away. The illusions were consumed. And now, what's left is not shame, but glory. Yes, glory. Not because of what you've done, but because of who I am in you. You won't look like what you've been through, not because the pain wasn't real, but because the glory will be greater. I've been dressing you in firelight, and now I'm clothing you in radiance. I've covered you in the weight of my presence, and it will be your new garment. You see, the fire wasn't punishment. It was preparation. I allowed the heat because I knew what was hidden inside of you. Diamonds don't form in comfort. Oil doesn't flow without crushing. And glory doesn't rest where pride still rules. So I took you through a process that felt like isolation, a path that felt like silence. But all along, I was there, whispering in the heat, singing in the smoke, walking beside you like I did with the three in the furnace, not delivering you from it, but through it. And now look at you, not burnt, not consumed, but transformed. And because you trusted me in the fire, now I will trust you with glory. This is not the glory of titles or platforms. It is not the applause of men or the rewards of performance. This is the weighty glory of intimacy, the evidence of having walked with me through the fire and not letting go. And now, others will look at you and wonder how you made it. And the answer will not be your strength. It will be my presence. You won't need to explain it. The light will speak for itself. You won't need to justify your journey. The fruit will prove its root. The fire was your proving ground, and now the glory will be your announcement. I'm placing garments of beauty over every place the enemy tried to brand with ashes. I'm placing crowns of joy where sorrow tried to live. You will not just recover. You will radiate. You will shine with a light not your own, because my glory doesn't just visit, it clothes, it wraps, it redefines, and the world will look at you and know, this one has been with God, not because of perfection, but because of proximity. You stayed close when everything said run. You remained in me when the flames rose higher. And now I say, your eyes shine, for your light has come, and my glory is risen upon you. This is not the end of your story. This is the chapter where everything turns. Let me speak into your spirit now with finality, with love, and with a voice that reverberates beyond time. This is not the end of your story. I know it feels like a full stop, like the page has gone silent and the ink has dried. But this is not where it ends. This is not where you break. This is where the breakthrough begins. This is the chapter where everything turns. The part where the silence is shattered by a voice. The moment when despair is eclipsed by hope. I know it's felt like everything you've waited for has stalled. Like the dreams have curled up under layers of delay. But I tell you now, this is the part of the story where I, the author, turn the page. And what's written next will make everything you walk through worth it. I write in divine reversals. I specialize in redemptive plot twists. And just when the enemy thought your chapter was over, I dipped my pen in mercy and continued the story. Because I'm not done. And neither are you. You've mourned what you lost. You've questioned what was taken. You stood in the middle of unanswered prayers and wondered if I even heard you. I did. I always have. And what you didn't realize is that while you were waiting on me to move, I was writing. Writing a chapter that would restore what the locusts devoured. Writing an ending that would redeem the beginnings you thought were wasted. Writing promises that will stand taller than every pain you endured. You thought you were forgotten, but I was busy preparing the next act. And now, the curtain is lifting. The scene is shifting. And you are about to walk into a plotline written in my glory, not your grief. This is not where your story ends in pain. It's where it unfolds in purpose. You've been hidden, but now you'll be revealed. You've been quieted, but now your voice will roar. You've been waiting, and now I say, watch. This chapter is not an afterthought. It's the climax, a culmination, the divine crescendo. Everything has been leading to this, every tear, every trial, every moment you chose to trust when it didn't make sense. Nothing was wasted. Not the delays, not the detours, not the defeats. I've been weaving it all together, not to write a tragedy, but to birth a testimony. One that will awaken others. One that will shatter lies. One that will glorify me. So rise, child. Shake the dust off your feet. Turn the page with me. I have so much more to show you. And what's coming next? It's not just restoration. It's redemption. It's not just blessing. It's fulfillment. It's not just a new day. It's a new destiny. The story isn't over. It's turning. And you, my beloved, are about to walk into the most breathtaking pages yet. The final word has been spoken, but the movement doesn't end here. If this message marked your life, then child, I'm asking you to make room for it to mark another's. My word will not return to me empty, but will accomplish what I desire. Isaiah 55:11. And your giving becomes the river that carries my voice to dry places. This is holy ground, and your seed has power when placed in my hands. I see every sacrifice. I honor every act of obedience. When you give, through super thanks, membership, or the link below, you are saying, God, keep speaking through this. And I will. I will multiply your seed and return it as breakthrough. Do not delay. Sow now, and send this glory forward. My child, come close. Settle your heart for a moment and just listen to me. I need to tell you everything, right from the very beginning, so that the truth can anchor you. I see the weight you carry. I see that knot of anxiety in your stomach when you think about the future, the pressure that builds at your job, the unspoken tensions that linger in your family. I know that feeling you have of being overlooked, that quiet fear that you are not enough. You must understand that these feelings are not the truth of who you are. They are not the foundation on which I build you. So, let's go back. Further back than your first memory, further back than your first breath. Before I carved the canyons and told the mountains where to stand, before the very first star was kindled and hung in the vastness of space, I knew you. Your name was not a surprise to me. It was a whisper in my heart. The love I have for you is not a reaction to something you did right, and it does not disappear when you make a mistake. You must understand this. My love is not like the conditional affection of the world. It is the very essence of who I am. I am love, and therefore, you are conceived in a heart of perfect, unwavering love. Look at me. I want you to see yourself as I see you. You were my idea, a masterpiece, an original work of art that I painted with deliberate strokes. There has never been another you, and there never will be. The world will try to make you a copy, to force you into a mold, but I created you to be an original. When you feel flawed, when you see your imperfections, you are seeing an unfinished canvas. You are not seeing the final work I have envisioned. So hear this truth and let it sink deeper than any lie you have ever believed. My affection for you cannot be earned, and it can never, ever be lost. It is an eternal, unchanging constant in a world of variables. I chose you, my precious one. This wasn't a cosmic lottery, random chance out of billions. I chose you with deliberate, infinite, and personal intention. I saw you, I knew you, and I wanted you. Every single detail of your existence, from the color of your eyes to the sound of your laugh, from the strengths you rely on to the weaknesses you try to hide, I wove it all together with my own hands. Your life is a testament to my intricate, personal care. Nothing about you is an accident. Nothing about you is a mistake. Before you can understand anything else I am about to tell you, you must stand on this unshakable foundation. You are known, you are chosen, and you are loved with an everlasting love. And now that you are resting in the truth that you are loved, I want to talk to you about your life's purpose. I hear the questions you ask in the quiet of your own heart. What am I even doing here? Does my life matter? You look at your days, a collection of routines, waking up, going to work, paying bills, dealing with problems, going to sleep, and you wonder if there is a point to it all. You see others who seem so successful, so acclaimed, and you feel small, directionless, as if you are a random soul wandering a meaningless existence. This, my child, is another lie that has kept you from walking in the power I have for you. Your life is not random. It is a vital, irreplaceable chapter in my grand story. You are not a footnote. You are a main character in the part of the story I have given you to live. I need you to stop looking outwardly for your purpose and start looking inwardly at what I have placed within you. Long before you were born, I embedded within you specific gifts and a unique calling that no one else in the history of the world can fulfill. Do you hear me? No one else can do what I have called you to do. That pressure you feel to climb the ladder at work, to get more followers, to earn the applause of others, it comes from searching for your value in the wrong places. Your true purpose is not found in a job title or the balance of your bank account. Your deepest purpose is to reflect my glory and my love to a broken and searching world. It is to be my hands and my heart in the place I have put you. Every single thing you have faced, I can use. Every trial that has brought you to your knees, every joy that has made your heart soar, these are the instruments I use to shape you for your divine purpose. That failure that brought you shame, I used it to teach you humility and dependence on me. That painful loss that broke your heart, I am using it to give you a compassion for others that you never had before. Do not resent your past. It has been your training ground. Therefore, do not strive to be like another person. Do not envy their gifts or their platform. Your authenticity is the very vessel I intend to use. The world needs you, exactly as I made you, redeemed and filled with my spirit. The ultimate aim of your life, the goal that will outlast every other ambition, is simply to know me more deeply and to make me known to others. It is a mission of eternal, not temporary, significance. When you help a coworker who is struggling, when you show patience to your family, when you speak a word of truth with love, you are walking in the center of your purpose. It is that simple and that profound. Now listen carefully. I need you to understand why I am speaking to you with such urgency, with such clarity, right now. This is not a message to inspire fear, but to awaken you from slumber. The season of the world is changing, and it is changing rapidly. You feel it, don't you? The shadows seem to be growing longer, and the noise of dissection is escalating. It is becoming harder and harder to hear my still, small voice amidst the constant shouting of the world. the foundations of what people consider stable and secure. Their finances, their governments, their institutions, their unhuman reasoning are being shaken. I am allowing this shaking so that what cannot be shaken, my kingdom, my truth, my children, will remain. The reason for this urgent conversation is that I need you to be anchored. You cannot afford to be tossed about by every new wind of doctrine, every viral philosophy, or every shifting cultural opinion that blows through your social media feed. I am speaking with such clarity now because many are growing deaf to my whispers. They are being lured away by the noise of the age, trading the deep, nourishing truth of my word for the fast food of MP ideologies. They are anxious, confused, and afraid because their foundation is built on the sand of this world. But you, my child, I am calling you to build your life on the rock of who I am. The time for spiritual complacency is over. The time for half-hearted faith, for treating me like a Sunday-only hobby, has passed. The time for decisive faith and bold, courageous action is now. This is the hour to know what you believe and why you believe it. This is the time to draw a line in the sand and declare that you will serve me, no matter what the world says or does. This awakening is a gift. It is an act of my grace to prepare you, to strengthen you, and to equip you for the days ahead. I am not telling you these things to make you hide in a corner. I am telling you these things so you will stand up in the authority and peace I have given you, to be a beacon of light and a voice of hope in a world that is losing its way. Your peace does not have to be shaken when the world is in chaos. Your stability is not in the world, it is in me. This is the reality I am calling you to walk in. Let's talk about that voice in your head, the one that keeps a running list of your failures, the one that replays your mistakes on a loop and whispers that you are not good enough, that you are disqualified, that you are a fraud. I am here today to tell you, with all the authority of heaven, that voice is a liar. You are not defined by your past mistakes. You are not defined by your weaknesses, and you are certainly not defined by the labels that other people, or even you yourself, have placed upon you. That shame you carry from years ago, give it to me. That recurring sin that makes you feel hopeless, it does not have the final say. Through the sacrifice of my Son, Jesus, a great exchange took place. He took your sin, your shame, and your failure upon himself at the cross. And in return, he gave you his perfect standing before me. When I look at you now, I do not see your sin. I see the righteousness of Jesus. I have declared you righteous, holy, and blameless in my sight. This is not a future hope. It is your present reality. So I command you to stop identifying with your old self. You are a child of the King. You are not a spiritual orphan, hoping to earn my attention. You are a full heir to an eternal kingdom, a citizen of heaven with all the rights and privileges that come with it. You have a seat at my table, and it is not just your legal standing that has changed. The very same power that defied the grave, that rolled the stone away, that raised Christ from the dead, that exact resurrection power now resides within you by my Spirit. It is not just a theological concept. It is practical power for your daily life. It is the power to overcome that temptation, the power to forgive that person who wounded you, the power to be patient when you feel stretched thin. You have been supernaturally transferred from the kingdom of darkness, with all its fear and bondage, into the kingdom of light, with all its freedom and peace. So, I invite you now to do something radical. Begin to see yourself as I see you. When you look in the mirror, look past the surface and see a soul that is redeemed, cherished, empowered, and destined for eternal victory. This is your true identity. Walk in it. Now that you know who you are, I must equip you to recognize the strategy of the one who wants you to forget it. You are in a spiritual battle, my child, but you do not need to be afraid of it. You only need to be aware. The adversary's primary weapon is not power, for my power is infinitely greater. His primary weapon is the lie. He is the father of lies, and he subtly mixes falsehood with truth to lead you astray from the safety of my will. I want you to learn to see his schemes so they lose their power over you. He will come to you and tempt you to doubt my goodness. When a trial comes, he will whisper, "If God is so good, why is this happening to you?" He wants you to believe that I am holding out on you or that I do not truly care. He will tempt you to question my word, suggesting it is outdated, irrelevant, or that parts of it do not really apply to you. And he will constantly tempt you to distrust my promises, telling you that your miracle will never come, that your situation is hopeless. Recognize these whispers of doubt. They are not from me. He is also the accuser. He is the one who brings your past sins before you, trying to drown you in condemnation long after I have already forgiven and forgotten them. He is the voice of pride, telling you that you can handle things on your own, that you are strong enough without me. And he is the voice of despair, telling you that you have failed too many times and might as well give up. His ultimate goal is to isolate you. He will try to create a fence between you and other believers. He will convince you that no one understands what you are going through, that you are all alone in your struggle, and that even I am distant. This is his classic trap, because he knows that a sheep separated from the flock and the shepherd is vulnerable. Be aware of this scheme. His deception always promises freedom while leading only to bondage. It offers a moment of pleasure that ends in lasting pain. It promises self-empowerment but leads to emptiness. I want you to become a discerning soldier. Learn to recognize his voice. It is the one that brings fear, pressure, confusion, condemnation, and anxiety. It is the opposite of mine. And your defense is simple, yet powerful. You must counter his every lie by holding fast to the absolute, unchanging truth of my word. It is your sword, and it is the one weapon he cannot defeat. My child, pause for a moment. I have only just begun to open your eyes to the truth of who you are and the deceptions that surround you. It would break my heart to see you turn away now, armed with only a fraction of the wisdom you need, and walk back into the very shadows I long to free you from. Please do not stop listening. There is so much more I must tell you to keep you safe and grounded in my power. Stay with me. So how do you fight these deceptions? How do you stand firm when the winds of doubt and fear begin to blow? I have not left you defenseless. I have given you a weapon of absolute truth and supernatural power, my word. Please, my child, do not see the scriptures as just an ancient book of rules or stories. My word is living and active, sharper than any two-edged sword. It has the power to cut through the confusion and lies and expose the true thoughts and intentions of the heart. It is the very creative force that spoke galaxies into existence, and it is the sustaining power that holds all things together right now. This power is beyond your comprehension, and it is available to you. In my word, you will find everything you need. You will find your true identity, as I have just told you. You will find your purpose and your divine calling. You will find clear guidance for your life, your relationships, and your decisions. When you feel lost in darkness and cannot see the way forward, my word is a lamp for your feet, showing you the very next step to take. When you are confused about the future, it is a light for your entire path, illuminating the way I have set before you. I invite you to feast on it. Do not treat it like a snack you have once a week. It is the daily bread your spirit needs to be strong and healthy. I want you to do more than just read it. Meditate on it. Think about it. Memorize it. so that when a lie comes into your mind, you have the truth ready to speak back to it, just as Jesus did in the wilderness. Let my word saturate your mind and your heart, for it has the power to literally transform you from the inside out. It will rewire your thinking from a pattern of fear and anxiety to a pattern of faith and peace. The opinions of people will change. The headlines will change. The culture will change. All these things will fail you, but my word stands forever. It will never fail. It will never become irrelevant. And I promise you, it will never return to me void, but will always accomplish the purpose for which I sent it. Anchor your life on this unshakable reality, and you will not be moved. My child, your world is so incredibly loud. From the moment you wake, you are bombarded with voices. The television shouts opinions. Your phone buzzes with notifications. People demand your attention, and your own thoughts race with worries and to-do lists. In the middle of all this noise, you have tried to hear me, and at times you have felt confused, wondering, is this God, or is it just me? Is this wisdom, or is it my own anxiety? I want to quiet the chaos and teach you how to recognize my voice, because learning to discern it is the key to your peace and your protection. Here is the first thing you must know. My voice will always align with my written word. I will never tell you to do something that contradicts the truth I have already established in Scripture. My word is your anchor point, your true north. If a thought or a feeling pushes you toward jealousy, unforgiveness, or pride, you can be certain it is not from me. My voice produces the fruit of my Spirit: love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. Secondly, I do not speak in the language of fear and pressure. The enemy screams, I speak. He wishes you, I lead you. He brings panicked anxiety. I bring a deep and settled peace. Often, I speak not in the thunderous earthquake or the dramatic fire, but in the still, small voice within your heart, a quiet knowing, a gentle nudge, a sense of rightness that calms your spirit even if the circumstances are chaotic. When you are facing a decision and you feel a frantic pressure to act now, I want you to learn to pause. It is rarely my voice. I will give you the wisdom you need, and with it, I will give you my peace. Learn to test the spirits. Ask yourself, does this thought bring conviction or condemnation? Conviction, which is from me, feels like a clean, hopeful call to get back on the right path. It says there is a better way. Condemnation, from the accuser, feels heavy and shaming. It says you are hopeless. Learn the difference in how they feel. To hear me more clearly, you must practice making space for silence. You cannot hear a whisper in the middle of a shouting match. I invite you to turn off the noise, even for just a few minutes each day. Sit in the quiet and simply say, Lord, I am listening. In those quiet spaces, you will begin to recognize the unique frequency of my spirit, and it will become the clearest voice in your life. I know that you have been let down. People you have trusted have broken their promises. Agreements you have counted on have fallen through. In your experience, words can be cheap and commitments fragile. It is for this very reason that I need to talk to you about the promise I have made to you. Our relationship is not based on a flimsy agreement or on how well you perform. It is founded on an unbreakable blood covenant, established and sealed by my Son, Jesus. This is the most solid reality in the entire universe, and you need to understand what it means for you, right now, in your daily life. Because of this covenant, you have been given complete forgiveness for your sins, past, present, and future. I want you to let that sink in. You are not on a spiritual treadmill, constantly having to make up for your last mistake. When you stumble, You are not kicked out of my family. The price for all of your sin has been paid in full. It is finished. This means you have direct access to me. Imagine the doors to the throne room of the universe swinging wide open for you. Because of Jesus, you do not need to be afraid to approach me. You can come boldly, not arrogantly, but confidently, knowing you will find grace and mercy to help you in your time of need. You do not have to clean yourself up before you come to me. You come to me to be made clean. This covenant is a great exchange. On the cross, Jesus took everything that was yours: your sin, your sickness, your brokenness, your death, and he gave you everything that was his. He gave you his righteousness, his healing, his wholeness, and his eternal life. So stop trying to earn what I have already given you as a free gift. You are living with a constant, low-grade fear that you are going to mess up, and I am going to be disappointed and withdraw my love. But this covenant is not dependent on your perfection. It is dependent on his finished work. It is not about your ability to hold on to me. It is about my unbreakable promise to hold on to you. Because of this covenant, I declare to you that nothing can ever separate you from my love. Not your deepest fear, not your greatest failure, not the opinions of others, not even your own doubt. Nothing. This is your security. Rest in it. My child, I have told you who you are, how to hear me, and the unbreakable promise that secures you. Now I must open your eyes to an unseen reality. I am not telling you this to make you afraid, but to make you wise and effective. Your daily struggles are often deeper than you realize. That sudden, overwhelming wave of hopelessness that washes over you, that sharp, bitter argument with a loved one that seems to come out of nowhere, that persistent, nagging temptation that pulls you toward an old, destructive habit. These are not always random occurrences. You must understand that your struggle is not merely against flesh and blood. Your real fight is not with your boss, your spouse, your difficult family member, or the person who cut you off in traffic. They are often just the battlefield. Your true struggle is against spiritual forces of evil that want to steal your peace, kill your hope, and destroy your testimony. This battle is waged for your allegiance, and the primary battlefields are your mind, your heart, and your will. Your mind is where the enemy sows lies and doubt. Your heart is where he contests for your affections, trying to lure you into loving the things of the world more than me. Your will is where he seeks to influence your choices, steering you away from my path. For every step you take toward me, you will seek to create an obstacle. When you decide to trust me with your finances, a sudden unexpected bill will appear. When you decide to forgive someone, a flood of angry memories will surface. Do not be surprised by this. But here is the crucial truth you must grasp. You do not fight for victory. You fight from a victory that has already been won. At the cross, my son disarmed all these powers and authorities. He won the war. Your role now is to enforce that victory in your daily life. Imagine a peace treaty has been signed, and you, as my representative, are tasked with enforcing the terms of that peace in your area of influence. You do not cower in fear of the defeated foe. You stand firm in the authority I have given you. Therefore, stop fighting with people. Stop wasting your energy in arguments and offense. I want you to start fighting the right enemy with the right weapons. Your prayers are not empty words. They have a direct and powerful impact in this unseen realm. Your faith is not a passive feeling. It is an active force. Do not be ignorant of this reality. Live as one who is aware, prepared, and already victorious. Because I have called you to live in the midst of this spiritual battle, I have not sent you into it defenseless or unprepared. That would be the act of a cruel commander. I am a loving father, and I have provided you with a full suit of divine armor, custom-made for you, designed to protect you from every attack and to ensure you can stand firm. I want you to learn to consciously put on this armor every single morning in prayer, to never walk out of your home spiritually unprotected. First, gird your waist with the belt of truth. The enemy's entire strategy is based on lies, and truth is what holds everything else together. Ground yourself in the absolute reality of who I am and who you are in me. This is your core stability. Then, put on the breastplate of righteousness. This is what guards your heart, your identity, your self-worth, and your emotions. Notice, it is not your righteousness which can fail. It is the righteousness of Christ, which I have given you. When the accuser points out your flaws, this breastplate deflects the blow by reminding you that your standing with me is perfect in Jesus. Prepare your feet with the readiness of the gospel of peace. In a world of chaos and instability, your footing is secure. You stand on the good news that you have peace with me, which allows you to be an ambassador of my peace to others. Above all, you must learn to lift up the shield of faith. The enemy will shoot flaming arrows at you, sudden, fiery thoughts of doubt, fear, accusation, lust, or despair. Your faith is the shield that extinguishes them before they can hit your heart. Hold it up by choosing to believe my promises over what you see or feel. For your mind, where so much of the battle is waged, put on the helmet of salvation. Protect your thoughts by dwelling on the reality of your eternal security. You are saved, you are safe, and your future is sealed. This helmet deflects the lies of hopelessness and condemnation. And finally, you have a weapon. Take up the sword of the Spirit, which is my word. This is how you go on the offensive against lies. When a fearful thought comes, you counter it by speaking a promise of my protection. When a tempting thought comes, you counter it with a declaration of my truth. Learn to use each piece, my child. I have fully equipped you. Your part is to put on the armor I have already provided. My beloved, you now hold the armor I have provided. But it grieves me deeply to think of you walking onto the battlefield knowing only what to wear, but not yet understanding the true source of your strength. The armor itself is not your power. I am. It would be a great sorrow to me if you left this conversation now, believing in the equipment, but not in the divine power that makes it invincible. Do not turn away. Let me show you the secret to my strength in your weakness. My child, let us talk about your strength and your weakness. The world has given you a script to follow. Project strength at all times. Hide your flaws. Never admit you are struggling, and pretend you have it all together. You have been trying to live by this script, and you are exhausted. The pressure to be perfect, to be self-sufficient, is a heavy, crushing burden that I never intended for you to carry. I am here to tear up that script and give you a new one, a principle from my kingdom that will set you free. The world tells you to hide your weaknesses, but I tell you to bring them to me. It is in the very moments when you feel most inadequate, most helpless, and most aware of your limitations that my power can rest upon you most fully. Your striving, your self-sufficiency, your belief that you can handle it all on your own, these things are actually barriers to my grace. Your honest admission of your need, your cry of, God, I can't do this without you, that is the open door through which my strength floods in. Are you tired of pretending? Are you weary of the performance? Good. That is the perfect condition for me to show up in your life in a powerful way. Think of it like this. A sail on a ship is just a weak, flimsy piece of cloth. It has no power in itself. But it is precisely its emptiness and weakness that allow it to catch the mighty wind and move a massive vessel across the sea. Your weakness is like that sail. When you stop trying to row the boat with your own frantic energy and instead lift up the sail of your weakness and dependence to me, you catch the wind of my spirit. I can then move you to places your own strength could never take you. Stop boasting in your abilities. If you must boast, boast in your dependence on me, for that is where true power is found. My grace is sufficient for you. It is a limitless ocean for your every need. When you are weak in patience, my patience can flow through you. When you are weak in wisdom, my wisdom is available to you. When you are weak in love, my love can love through you. So stop being ashamed of your need. Bring me your weakness. It is the greatest gift you can give me, for it makes room for me to be your strength. My child, we must talk about your pain. There is no part of your life I am unwilling to enter, and this is one of the most important. I have heard the questions you have cried out in the darkness. God, why? Why did you let this happen? If you love me, why does it hurt so much? You have endured sickness that has drained your strength, loss that has fractured your heart, and betrayal that has stolen your trust. In these moments of intense suffering, you have felt alone, and perhaps you have even believed that the trial was a sign of my absence or my punishment. I am leaning in close to you now to tell you that this is not the truth. Do not think it strange when you face these fiery ordeals. They are not a sign that I have abandoned you. They are evidence that I am at work within you. I am a good father, and I never waste pain. I want you to see your trials through my eyes. Just as a goldsmith uses intense fire to purify precious metal, I use the heat of adversity in your life to refine your faith. When the fire is turned up, the impurities you did not even know were there, pride, fear, self-reliance, unforgiveness, rise to the surface. It is only then that they can be skimmed away, leaving you purer, stronger, and more beautiful than before. The person you are becoming through these challenges is one of profound character and unshakable hope. The world sees pressure and thinks of breaking, but I see pressure and think of the diamond I am forming. And in all of this, hear my promise. I will never, ever give you a trial that is too much for you to bear with my help. I measure the heat of the fire. I know your breaking point, and I will not allow you to be shattered. I am with you in the furnace. I feel the heat with you, and I will always provide a way for you to endure. Often, the greatest and most effective ministry you will have in your life will be born from your deepest pain. The comfort you receive from me as I walk with you through your grief is not just for you. It is a well of comfort that you will then be able to offer to others who are walking the same path. Your scars will become a source of hope for them. So I invite you now, in the midst of your suffering, to do the opposite of what your feelings demand. Do not pull away from me in anger or confusion. Press in closer. Lean your full weight on me. Let me hold you. It is in the heart of the storm that you will discover a depth of my presence you could never have known in the calm. Just as I am using your deepest pain to create a ministry of comfort, I am now giving you a chance to turn your trial into a triumph for my kingdom. If you feel the fire of my spirit stirring you to help another soul hear these truths, then I am personally inviting you to sow a seed that will send this living water to those dying of thirst in their own deserts. Your gift becomes the manna in the wilderness for another, the oil that does not run dry, carrying my voice to the ends of the earth. I declare over you my promise from Malachi. Test me now in this and see if I will not throw open the floodgates of heaven and pour out so much blessing that there will not be room enough to store it. This is your divine appointment to partner with me in healing the brokenhearted. As you release what is in your hand, I will release over you a sevenfold return of protection and favor. Answer my call now. Click Super Thanks, become a member, or use the link in the description to sow into this eternal harvest. For too long, my child, you have viewed prayer as a religious duty, a formal monologue, or a last-ditch emergency call when all else fails. You have whispered prayers into your pillow and wondered if they went any higher than the ceiling. I want to completely revolutionize your understanding of prayer, to show you the immense power and intimate connection you have access to. Prayer is not a ritual. It is a direct, open line of communication with the Creator of the universe, and I am always listening. It is the primary way you and I partner together to bring my will from the realm of heaven down into the reality of earth. Your earnest prayers can shift atmospheres. They can change circumstances. They have the power to alter the course of events. You have been praying small, safe prayers because you are afraid to be disappointed. You ask me for help with things you think you can manage if I don't show up. But I am the God of the impossible. I delight in doing great things for you, things that can only be explained by my power. So I invite you to be bold. Dare to ask me for the healing that doctors have given up on. Dare to ask for the restoration of the relationship that seems utterly broken. Dare to ask for provision that seems to have no earthly source. Do not limit me with your small requests. But you must also understand that prayer is so much more than just asking. It is communion. It is you and I, sharing our hearts. I want you to come to me sometimes with no list at all, just to be in my presence, to worship me for who I am, to tell me you love me. That is the highest form of prayer. And prayer is also about listening. It is a two-way conversation. You must learn to quiet your own heart and mind to hear my guidance and my wisdom. Furthermore, there is a power in persistent prayer that you have yet to fully grasp. Some things in the spiritual realm require a sustained effort. Like a gentle rain that eventually softens the hardest ground, your persistence in prayer wears down spiritual opposition and demonstrates a faith that will not let go. It shows me that you are serious. So do not give up on that prayer you have been praying for years. I have heard every single one. There is power in your prayer, my child. Step into it. When my son, Jesus, ascended back into heaven, I did not abandon you to navigate this difficult world on your own. I did not leave you as an orphan. I did the most personal, most intimate thing I could possibly do. I sent my very own Spirit, the Holy Spirit, to take up residence and live inside you. This is not a metaphor. The Spirit of God is your constant companion, your internal guide, and the source of your power. I want you to become more aware of His presence and learn how to relate to Him moment by moment. Think of all your deepest needs. When your heart is breaking with grief and sorrow, He is your comforter, wrapping your soul in a peace that defies your circumstances. When you are confused and do not know which way to turn, He is your counselor, whispering wisdom and illuminating the right path. When the accuser brings his lies of condemnation against you, He is your advocate, rising up within you to declare the truth of your righteousness in Christ. It is He who makes my word come alive to you, who empowers you to live a holy life that pleases me, and who gives you the strength to say no to sin. There are times when you are so overwhelmed, so burdened, that you do not even know what to pray. In those moments, my Spirit intercedes for you. He takes your deepest groans, the cries of your heart that are too deep for words, and He translates them into perfect prayer before my throne. You are never without a voice in heaven. He is my seal upon you, my mark of divine ownership, my unbreakable guarantee that you belong to me and that I will carry you safely to your eternal home. Given this incredible gift, I urge you to be sensitive to Him. Do not grieve Him by deliberately choosing to go against His gentle leading. When He convicts you of an area in your life that is not pleasing to me, do not harden your heart. When He prompts you to encourage someone or to step out in faith, do not ignore that nudge. Learning to live in step with the Spirit is the secret to a life of joy, peace, and power. He is your greatest gift. Acknowledge Him, speak to Him, and lean on Him. I know that it can feel easier to live out your faith on your own. People are complicated. Relationships get messy. And I see with perfect clarity the ways you have been hurt, even by people inside the church. A wound from a place that should have been safe is the deepest wound of all. Because of this pain, you have been tempted to withdraw, to isolate, and to believe that your faith can be a private, solo journey between you and me. But I must tell you, my beloved, that is not my design. You were not created to be a lone branch, but to be a vital part of a vibrant vine. You are a living stone, and I am fitting you together with other living stones to build a spiritual house where my presence can dwell on earth. I have placed you in a body of believers for a reason. You need their encouragement, and they need yours. You need to serve them with your gifts, and you need them to serve you with theirs. There is a unique strength, protection, and accountability found in corporate unity and worship that you cannot find on your own. So please, do not forsake gathering together with other believers. I know the church is not perfect, because it is filled with imperfect people, just like you. It is not a museum for saints who have it all together. It is a hospital for sinners who know they need a Savior. I am calling you to let go of your offense and find a community where my word is honored and where people are genuinely, if imperfectly, trying to love me and one another. And once you are there, I want you to bear with their faults in love, being quick to forgive, just as I have been quick to forgive you. The enemy's primary strategy against my church is to sow division, offense, and discord. I am calling you to be an agent of unity and peace. Your love for your brothers and sisters in Christ, a love that is patient, kind, and covers over a multitude of sins, will be the most powerful sermon the watching world will ever see. They will look at your messy, imperfect, yet loving community and say, their love for one another must be supernatural. Their God must be real. This is my plan. So take the risk, open your heart again, and find your place in the family I have created for you. You have come so far. You now see my purpose in your pain and your vital place among my people. My heart yearns for you to grasp the beautiful and unique gifts I have personally placed within you for this community. It would be a profound disappointment to me to see you join the family, but never unwrap the gift you are meant to be to them. Please, continue to listen. Let me reveal to you how I have specifically designed you to shine my light. My child, when my Spirit came to live inside you, He did not arrive empty-handed. He deposited within you specific, supernatural spiritual gifts. These are not just natural talents. They are divine empowerments designed for the work of my kingdom. You may have the gift of mercy, which enables you to feel my compassion for the hurting. You may have the gift of teaching, to explain my truth with clarity. You may have a gift of leadership, of giving, of administration, of faith, or of encouragement. You have been given these gifts, and I want you to discover them and use them. I see you comparing yourself to others. You see someone with a public gift, like teaching or leading worship, and you feel that you have nothing valuable to offer. That is a lie from the enemy, designed to keep your gift dormant. The gift I have given you is precisely the one the body needs from you. An orchestra needs the thunder of the drums, but it also needs the gentle notes of the flute. Both are essential for the symphony. Your gift is not for your own glory or to make you feel important. It is a tool I have given you for the building up of my church and the advancement of my kingdom in the world. So how do you discover these gifts? You do not discover them by taking a quiz. You discover them by serving. I want you to stop comparing and start getting your hands dirty. Step into areas of need. Volunteer. Encourage someone. Ask yourself, what brings me the most joy when I am helping others? What needs in the world or in the church break my heart and make me want to do something? Your spiritual gifts are often hidden in the answers to those questions. Do not belittle the gift I have given you, no matter how small or insignificant it may seem to you. The person with the gift of helps, who quietly sets up chairs or cleans up afterwards, is just as important to me as the person preaching on the stage. And here is the principle of my kingdom. As you are faithful in using the small gift I have given you, I will entrust you with more. Your gifts are the specific tools I have provided for you to fulfill the unique purpose that I designed just for you. Use them. I need you to understand what an idol truly is, because they are not just ancient statues of stone and gold that people bow down to in the desert. The idols of your age are far more subtle and far more dangerous because they hide in plain sight. An idol is anything you place before me on the throne of your heart. It is anything you love more, fear more, trust more, or serve more than me. It is the thing you run to for comfort when you are stressed, the thing you look to for your sense of worth, the thing you believe is your ultimate source of security. Whatever captures your ultimate affections and allegiance has become your God. Look at your life with honest eyes. That phone in your hand, do you run to it for escape, for validation, for a sense of connection that you should be seeking from me? It can be an idol. The approval of other people, your boss, your friends, your family, even strangers on the internet. Do you fear their rejection more than you fear disobeying me? Their approval can be an idol. The security you believe your bank account or your career provides, do you trust in it to keep you safe and provide for your future more than you trust in me? Money and success can be powerful idols. Even good things, your spouse, your children, your health, can become idols when you elevate them to the place in your heart that is reserved for me alone. I am a jealous God. I want you to understand what this means. It is not the petty, insecure jealousy of a human. It is the fierce, protective jealousy of a loving Father who knows that every other idol will eventually fail you. Money can be lost. People will let you down. Your health can fade. Comfort is fleeting. I am jealous for you because I love you too much to let you give your heart to things that cannot truly satisfy and will ultimately lead to your pain. So I want you to examine your heart. What do you worry about the most? What do you spend the most time thinking about? What do you fear losing above all else? The answer will reveal the hidden idols you may be serving. I invite you to tear them down. You cannot serve two masters. True, lasting freedom and the deepest satisfaction your soul longs for are found only in worshiping me alone. I see the wounds you carry from people who have wronged you. I know the names and the faces that flash through your mind, bringing with them a surge of pain, anger, and injustice. A part of you holds on to that hurt, that bitterness, believing that it is somehow punishing them. But I must show you the truth. Holding on to unforgiveness is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to die. It does not harm them. It corrodes your own soul. It chains you to the very person and the very event that wounded you, keeping you a prisoner of your past. I did not die to give you freedom in every area of your life only for you to remain in this self-imposed prison. The forgiveness I have extended to you is the model for the forgiveness you must extend to others. You must understand that forgiveness is not a feeling. If you wait until you feel like forgiving, you may wait forever. Forgiveness is a decision of your will. It is a choice you make in obedience to me, an act of faith where you choose to cancel the debt that person owes you, just as I have canceled the immeasurable debt you owed me. Let me be clear about what forgiveness is not. It does not mean you are saying what they did was okay. It was not okay. It does not mean you must immediately trust that person again. Trust must be earned and rebuilt over time. It does not even mean you must have a relationship with them. Forgiveness is your internal work between you and me. It is you standing before me and saying, "Father, I choose to release this person from the debt they owe me. I hand them over to you and your perfect justice, and I refuse to be their judge and jury any longer." The moment you do that, the chain breaks. Your freedom is directly and inextricably linked to your willingness to forgive those who have wounded you. When you struggle to do it, I want you to remember the cross. Remember the mountains of your own sin that I have forgiven and cast into the depths of the sea. From that place of deep gratitude for my grace toward you, you can then extend that same grace to others. The word love has been used so often in your world that it has become diluted and cheapened. So I must tell you what I mean when I command you to love. I am not speaking of a fleeting emotion, a romantic feeling, or a sentimental fondness. The love I command you to walk in is the very love that flows from my own heart. It is a supernatural, self-sacrificial love. The Greeks called it agape, and it is impossible for you to produce on your own. It is a love that I must pour into your heart, which then flows through you to others. You are the channel, not the source. This love is what sets you apart. The world loves those who love them back. But I say to you, love your enemies and pray for those who persecute you. This is the radical, countercultural love that will be the evidence to a watching world that you are truly my disciple. You think, I cannot possibly love that person who hurt me, or I have no love for that difficult family member. You are right. You cannot. But I can, through you. Your part is to surrender your will and be the vessel. Let this divine love be practical. It is not an abstract idea. It is an action. It is feeding the hungry, giving a drink to the thirsty, welcoming the stranger, clothing the naked, and visiting the prisoner. When you see the least of these, the broken, the forgotten, the marginalized, I want you to see me. For when you serve them, you are serving me directly. This love is patient when you are tempted to be angry. It is kind when others are harsh. It is humble and does not boast. It is not selfish. It does not hold grudges. Look for opportunities to put this love into action. A patient word, a kind deed, a moment of selfless service. These are the practical expressions of my love working through you. This is my new commandment. It is not a suggestion. It is the very law upon which my entire kingdom operates. You spend so much of your life worrying about money. A vast amount of your mental and emotional energy is consumed by it. Will you have enough? What if you lose your job? How will you pay for your children's needs? How can you secure your future? This constant, low-level anxiety is a heavy weight on your soul, and it has choked out much of the peace and joy I have for you. You have been taught, by the world, to store up for yourselves treasures on earth, to find your security in your job, your bank account, and your possessions. I am telling you now that this is an illusion. You have begun to believe, perhaps without realizing it, that your employer is your source. But a job can be lost in a single day. You have started to trust that your savings are your security. But the economy of the world is fragile and destined to fail. These things are unreliable gods, and placing your trust in them is the very source of your anxiety. I alone am your source. I am your provider. I am Jehovah Jireh. Your job is simply one of the channels I may choose to use for a season, but it is not the source. I am your source. I want to completely change how you view your resources. I want you to begin to see yourself not as a dam that hoards what I give you, but as a channel through which my resources can flow to bless others. A dam that is always holding on becomes stagnant and is under immense pressure. A channel that is always flowing is always full and clean. Hold the things of this world loosely. Be a generous person. The pursuit of wealth creates a trap of anxiety, but the practice of generosity breaks the power of money over your heart and unleashes my provision in your life in new ways. I am not telling you to be irresponsible. I am telling you to transfer your trust from your resources to me, the source of all resources. Your true wealth, the only kind that lasts, is not measured by what you have stored up on earth. Your true wealth is measured by what you have invested in eternity through your generosity to my kingdom and to those in need. My child, listen to my heart. We are in the deepest part of our conversation now, where true, lasting freedom is forged. It would deeply grieve me if you were to stop here, with the idols of your heart exposed but not yet replaced, and with the wounds of unforgiveness uncovered but not yet fully healed by my love. The world is desperate to pull you back to its illusions. Do not leave my presence now. Let me finish this sacred work and show you what it truly means to worship me. When you hear the word worship, you likely think of a specific time and place, singing psalms in a church building on a Sunday morning. That is a beautiful and important expression of worship, and I delight in it. But it is only a single drop in the vast ocean of what true worship is meant to be. You have compartmentalized your life into the sacred part and the secular part. I am here to tear down that wall. True worship is not an event you attend. It is the continuous posture of a surrendered heart offered to me in every moment of your life. The highest form of worship you can offer me is to present your entire body, your time, your energy, your thoughts, your choices, as a living sacrifice, holy and pleasing to me. This is your true and proper worship. Every act of obedience is worship. Every thought you deliberately bring into alignment with my truth is worship. Every time you choose patience instead of anger, or integrity instead of compromise, you are offering me a beautiful song of worship. The way you handle a difficult project at work, when you do it with excellence and honesty for me, is a profound act of worship. The way you love your family when you are tired and have nothing left to give is a fragrant offering of worship. I am seeking worshipers who will worship me in spirit and in truth. To worship in spirit means that it comes from your heart, full of genuine passion and love, not just empty, religious ritual. To worship in truth means it is based on the reality of who I am, as revealed in my word. It is easy to sing my praises when your life is going well. But when you are in the middle of a storm, when your heart is breaking, and you still choose to lift your hands and declare that I am good, that is a sound that shakes the foundations of darkness. That is the worship I am drawn to. I do not want just your songs. I want your life. Your entire life, live for my glory, is the greatest symphony of worship you could ever offer me. I know the thought of talking about me to others can fill you with fear. You immediately think of all your inadequacies. You think, what will I say? I'm not a preacher. What if they ask me a question I can't answer? What if they reject me or think I'm strange? You are looking at your own limitations, but I am looking at my power that I have placed within you. The good news of my Son's love, forgiveness, and salvation was never meant to terminate with you. It is a life-saving gift that was given to you for the express purpose of you giving it away. Imagine you have discovered the only cure for a terminal disease that is ravaging your city. Would you keep it to yourself out of fear that some people might not believe you? Or would the urgency of their condition compel you to share it freely with anyone who would listen? My child, the people all around you, your coworkers, your neighbors, your family members are perishing without hope. Your silence could be the barrier standing between them and eternal life. I have not called you to be a debater or a theologian. I have called you to be a witness. You are my ambassador, entrusted with the most important message in the universe, the message of reconciliation, that I am not counting people's sins against them, and they can be made right with me through Jesus. Stop waiting until you feel perfect or eloquent or ready. You will never feel perfectly ready. I am not asking you to share your perfection. I am asking you to share my grace. Your simple, honest testimony of what I have done in your life has more power than you can possibly imagine. You do not need to have all the answers. You only need to be able to say, I was lost, but he found me. I was in darkness, and he brought me into the light. I was carrying a heavy burden of shame, and he set me free. This is what he has done for me. And you must share this message not only with your words, but with your actions. Let your life be a compelling argument for the truth of the gospel. When you show love to the unlovable, when you have peace in the middle of a crisis, when you show integrity when no one is watching, you are preaching a sermon that the world cannot ignore. The fields are ripe for harvest. People are more spiritually hungry than you realize. I am sending you. I have commissioned you to be my hands and feet, for the fields are white for harvest and the urgency is great. If your heart echoes my own, longing to see this urgent message reach every corner of the earth, then I am calling you to become a sender, to partner with me in equipping this ministry to carry my fire to the lost. Your giving is not just a donation. It is you placing the bread of my word into the hands of a starving soul you may never see. I declare over your life the truth of my word. One person sows and another reaps. I sent you to reap what you have not worked for. Every moment of delay is a soul left in darkness. This is your divine window to turn on the light. As you equip this work, I will ensure you are never without the resources you need, for I honor those who honor me. Join this mission now. Give through Super Thanks. Become a channel of support as a member, or use the PayPal link below to send forth my word. You look at the world and your heart is troubled. You read the news headlines. You see the videos online, and a feeling of anxiety and dread can easily creep into your soul. You see the wars and rumors of wars, the increasing division and anger, the natural disasters, the famines, and it feels like the world is spinning wildly out of control. Your natural human response is to be afraid or to despair. But I want to lift your gaze higher and give you my eternal perspective. I do not want you to be ignorant of the season you are living in. Just as you can look at the sky to predict the weather, you must learn to read the spiritual and political signs of the times. What you are seeing is not the world's final destruction, but its final deliverance. These things that trouble you, the conflicts, the earthquakes, the unrest, I told you these things would happen. They are not the end itself, but the beginning of birth pains. They are painful, yes. They will increase in frequency and intensity, yes. But they signal that something new and glorious is about to be born, the full and final establishment of my kingdom on earth. I am also telling you that in these last days, there will be a great falling away from the true faith. Many will be deceived by doctrines that please their ears but offer no real power to change their lives. Lawlessness will increase, and because of this rampant selfishness, the genuine, sacrificial love of many will grow cold. But I am telling you these things not to frighten you, but to prepare you. Do not be alarmed when you see these things unfold. These things must happen. But you, my child, are to be different. While the love of many grows cold, you must let your love for me and for others burn even brighter. While many fall away, you must hold fast to the truth you have received. These signs are not for your despair. They are for your diligence. They are a signal that my ultimate redemption is drawing near. So when you see the chaos of the world increasing, I do not want you to hunker down in fear. I want you to look up in hope, for your salvation is closer now than when you first believed. Let the urgency of the hour fuel your passion for me, not your fear of the world. Because I am a holy and good God, I am also a God of perfect justice. I cannot overlook sin. Every deed done in secret, every careless word spoken, every hidden motive of the heart, it will all be brought into the light of my perfect judgment one day. It is appointed for every person to die once, and after that to face judgment. This is an unavoidable reality for all of humanity. For those who have rejected me and have not been covered by the blood of my Son, that will be a day of unimaginable terror. And if you are honest with yourself, a part of you still carries a fear of that day, a deep-seated worry that you have not been good enough, that your hidden faults will be exposed and you will be condemned. I want to speak directly to that fear right now and remove it from you forever. Listen to me. For you, my child who has placed your faith in my Son, Jesus, the nature of that day is completely and utterly different. Your sins, all of them, have already been judged. They were judged with the full force of my justice 2,000 years ago on the cross. Jesus absorbed the condemnation that you deserved. Therefore, there is now no condemnation for you. That case has been closed. Your judgment is not a trial to determine your eternal destiny. That is already settled. Your judgment is a judgment of rewards, an evaluation of how you lived your life for me after you were saved. It is a day I will look at you and say, "Well done, my good and faithful servant." At the cross, my perfect justice and my infinite mercy met. You stood guilty, but my Son stepped in and took your punishment. My mercy triumphed over judgment for you. You have been saved from wrath through him. So I command you to stop living in fear of punishment. It is a lie from the enemy designed to keep you from experiencing the joy and freedom of being my child. Instead, I want you to live every day in light of this reality. Not with fear, but with a holy reverence and a deep, grateful desire to please me. Let the reality of eternity motivate you to live a life of purpose, to build with things that will last, and to love with a passion that reflects the incredible mercy you have been shown. In these last days, you must be on high alert. One of the enemy's most effective strategies is not to attack my church from the outside with persecution, but to corrupt it from the inside with deception. Many will arise who claim to speak for me, but their message will be a twisted and watered-down version of my truth. They will come in my name, and they may even perform signs and wonders, but their goal will be to deceive. I am giving you the wisdom now to recognize them so you will not be led astray. They will preach a gospel that is appealing to human nature. It will be a gospel of comfort without conviction. It will be a gospel of blessing without repentance. It will be a gospel of grace that does not require you to submit to me as Lord. They will promise you a life of health, wealth, and ease, as if that is your divine right. They will present a version of me that is only loving and never just, a God who winks at sin and requires nothing of you. It is a dangerous and damning lie, because it promises a broad and easy road, but that road does not lead to life. How will you know the difference? I have given you two powerful tools. First, you must test every teaching you hear against the entirety of my written word. Does this message glorify me, or does it glorify man? Does it lead you to greater holiness, or does it give you a license to sin? Does it call you to take up your cross and follow me, or does it promise you a crown without a cross? My word is your unshakable standard of truth. Second, you must look at the fruit of the teacher's life. Do they exhibit the fruit of my spirit, love, humility, integrity, and a genuine concern for the poor and the broken? Or do they exhibit the works of the flesh, pride, greed, arrogance, and a love for the praise of man? Do not be impressed by charisma, eloquence, or the size of their following. Be a discerning listener, I want you to be like the noble Bereans I spoke of in my word, who examined the scriptures every day to see if what they were being taught was true. Stay grounded in a community of believers who are also committed to the truth. This is your protection from error. I know these truths are heavy. I have shown you the gathering shadows and the deceptions that are coming upon the world. My heart could not bear it if you left this conversation now, carrying only the weight of the warning, but not the glorious, world-changing promise that follows, that would leave you in fear, and I am the God of perfect hope. You must not stop listening. You must allow me to turn your eyes toward the triumphant return of my Son. After these sober warnings, I want to lift your gaze from the deceptions of the world to the most certain and glorious promise of all. This is the truth that must become the anchor for your soul in the midst of these turbulent times. My Son, Jesus, is coming back. He is not just a historical figure, and his story did not end with his ascension into heaven. He is going to return, and this is not a secret, mystical event. He will return in the very same way that he left, visibly, personally, and in great glory. He will descend on the clouds of heaven, and every eye will see him. This promise is your blessed hope. When you are weary from the battle, when your heart aches at the unceasing brokenness of the world, when you are tempted to lose heart, you must fix your mind on this reality. He is not coming back this time as a humble, suffering servant. He has already fulfilled that role. He is coming back as the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords, to execute judgment, to put an end to all evil, and to establish his kingdom of peace and righteousness on this earth forever. His return marks the end of all suffering for my children. It is the final answer to the prayer, "Your kingdom come, your will be done, on earth as it is in heaven." On that day, sin and its curse will be removed forever. Death itself will be destroyed. There will be no more mourning, or crying, or pain. This is the future I have guaranteed for you. So I want you to live in a state of constant, joyful readiness and expectation. I have not told you the day or the hour, but I have told you the season. Live as if he could return today. Let this hope purify your heart and motivate everything you do. Do not let your heart be entangled with the trivial pursuits of this temporary world. You are a citizen of a coming kingdom. Live like it. This is not a fairy tale ending. It is your guaranteed and glorious destiny. I see your body as it is now. I see the pain in your joints when you wake in the morning. I see the chronic illness that drains your energy, the fatigue that clouds your mind, and the slow, inevitable process of aging that you see in the mirror. You live in a physical form that is groaning, a body that is subject to sickness, injury, and decay. You have prayed for healing, and sometimes I grant it miraculously in this life as a foretaste of what is to come. But now I want to tell you about the ultimate, complete healing that awaits you. The final answer to every prayer you have ever whispered for physical wholeness. The resurrection. You must understand this truth. Death is not the end for you. It is a defeated enemy. Just as I raised my Son, Christ, from the grave in a glorified, physical body, I will also raise you. You will not spend eternity as a disembodied spirit floating on a cloud. I will give you a new body, a glorified body, an imperishable body, a body that is perfectly and wonderfully suited for the eternal life I have for you. This is not a hope or a wish. It is my absolute promise. Try to imagine it, my child. Imagine waking up in a body that feels no pain. Imagine a mind that knows no anxiety, a heart that feels no sorrow. Your new body will not be subject to the limitations you now experience. It will be a body that can run and not grow weary, a body that knows no sickness, no weakness, no decay. It will be a real, tangible body like my son's resurrected body, a body that could be touched, a body that could eat, yet a body that was not bound by the physical laws of this fallen world. It is the ultimate upgrade, the perfection of the form I originally designed for you. Every part of you that has been broken will be made whole. Every scar from this life will be gone, replaced by glory. The perishable will be clothed with the imperishable, and the mortal will be clothed with immortality. On that day, you will understand with explosive joy the meaning of the words I inspired my servant to write. Death has been swallowed up in victory. You will look at that defeated tyrant, death, and you will mock it, for its sting has been removed and its power over you has been utterly destroyed. This is the glorious future of your physical self. You live every day with the consequences of a fallen world. You fight a daily, internal battle against sin and temptation. You look at the world around you and see the horrifying effects of the enemy's work: hatred, division, greed, violence, and abuse. You groan under this weight, and a part of your soul cries out for justice, for things to be made right. I am telling you now, the day is coming. The victory over sin, death, and the enemy was decisively won at the cross 2,000 years ago. The war is over. What you are experiencing now is the final resistance of a defeated foe. But at my son's return, I will enforce the terms of that victory completely and finally. The adversary, the devil, who has accused you, who has whispered lies in your ear, who has tempted and tormented humanity for millennia, will be silenced forever. His reign of terror will be brought to a final, decisive end. I will cast him into the lake of fire, and his destructive influence will cease for all eternity. There will be no more temptation, no more deception, no more spiritual warfare. His power will be broken, and my children will be safe from him forever. And with his defeat comes the complete and eternal eradication of sin and its curse. The very root of all the world's brokenness will be pulled up and destroyed. Imagine a world with no selfishness, no pride, no greed. Imagine a world where there is no need for locks on the doors because there are no thieves. A world with no arguments because there is no arrogance. A world with no abuse because there is no lust for power. Every system corrupted by sin will be dismantled. Every institution stained by greed will be cleansed. And death itself, the last enemy to be destroyed, will be no more. There will be no more funerals, no more hospitals, no more goodbyes. The pain of separation will be a forgotten memory. All of creation, which has been groaning under the weight of this curse, will be liberated into the glorious freedom I have always intended for it. My perfect justice will be fully satisfied, and my kingdom of light and love will stand unopposed and unchallenged for all eternity. This is the end of the story of evil, and the beginning of your unending story of good. You feel it deep in your bones, don't you, my child? That feeling that you don't quite belong here. That sense of being a stranger in a foreign land. You experience moments of joy and beauty, but they are always tinged with a sense that something is missing, something is broken. The deep ache in your soul, that homesickness for a country you have never seen, that is my spirit within you, bearing witness to the truth that this world is not your final home. I have placed eternity in your heart, and you will never be fully content until you are home with me. And I am here to tell you, with absolute certainty, that I am preparing that place for you. You must erase from your mind the cartoonish images of heaven that the world has created. I am not preparing an eternity of sitting on a fluffy cloud, playing a harp. Your eternal home is not an ethereal, ghost-like existence. It will be a tangible, physical reality, a new heaven and a new earth, a restored and perfected creation, more solid, more vibrant, and more real than the world you know now. The most beautiful sunset you have ever seen, the most profound moment of joy you have ever experienced, the deepest love you have ever felt, These are but dim shadows, faint echoes of the glorious reality that awaits you. But the greatest wonder of heaven will not be the streets of gold or the gates of pearl. The ultimate joy of your eternal home will be this: my dwelling place will be with you. There will be no more separation, no more distance. You will see my face. The unhindered, unveiled, glorious presence of your God will be your constant environment. I myself will be with you, and I will wipe every last tear from your eyes. There will be no need for the sun to shine by day or the moon by night, for my own glory will be its light, and the Lamb, my Son, will be its lamp. This is not a fairy tale ending I have invented to make you feel better about the struggles of this life. This is your guaranteed destiny as my beloved child, purchased for you at an infinite cost. That is your true home, and I am waiting with great anticipation to welcome you into it. You may wonder what you will do for all eternity. The enemy has planted a lie that eternal life will be a state of passive, boring inactivity. This could not be further from the truth. I created you with a desire for purpose, for meaningful work, and for discovery, and that desire will be perfectly and joyfully fulfilled in my kingdom. The frustrations you experience with your work now, the toil, the office politics, the sense of meaninglessness, will be gone forever. In their place will be joyful service, exhilarating creativity, and endless discovery, all without the stain of sin and decay. But you need to understand a vital principle. Your life on earth now is not just a waiting room for eternity. It is the training ground. Your faithfulness in the small, often unseen, responsibilities I have given you now is directly preparing you for the great responsibilities I have for you in the new creation. I have told you in my word that those who have been faithful in the small things on this earth will be given authority over many things in my kingdom. You will reign with Christ. This is not a metaphor. You will participate with him in the loving, wise, and just administration of the new creation. You are my co-heirs with Christ, destined to share in his glorious inheritance. The gifts I have given you, the character I have been forging in you through trials, the love you have learned to show to others, none of it is wasted. It is all part of your preparation for your eternal role. You will have meaningful work to do, using your unique gifts to bring me glory and to serve in my perfected world. You will have deep, authentic relationships, free from the misunderstandings, hurt, and selfishness that plague them now. You will explore the wonders of my new creation, an endless adventure of discovery. You were created for eternity, and it is only there, in that place of perfect purpose and relationship, that you will finally feel fully and completely alive, in a way you have only dreamed of here. Your life now matters more than you can possibly imagine, because it is shaping the person you will be for all eternity. Your heart is soaring with the hope of eternity, and this brings me immeasurable joy. But it would sadden me to see you so focused on your magnificent destination that you miss my final, vital instructions for how to live out the rest of your journey on earth. The promise is secure, but your mission is not yet finished. Stay with me just a little longer. Let me give you the final commands and the powerful blessing you will need to finish your race well. So now, my child, as you see this age drawing to a close and the new one dawning, how then should you live? I am giving you now my final, urgent instructions. This is what I require of you in these last days. As the world becomes more and more unstable, you must remain steadfast and immovable. Be an anchor of my truth in a stormy sea, a rock that is not moved by the crashing waves of fear and deception. Hold fast to the truth you have received. Grip it as a drowning man grips a life raft, and do not be moved from your position in Christ, no matter what pressures come against you. In a world where the love of many is growing cold, I command you to love one another deeply and fervently. Let your love for your brothers, and sisters in Christ be the most noticeable and shocking thing about you. Forgive quickly. Encourage freely. Bear with one another's faults. Your love for each other will be a blazing fire of hope in a dark and dying world. And you must occupy until He comes. This is not a time to retreat from the world in fear. It is a time to engage it with urgency. Continue to do the work of the kingdom, share the good news, serve the poor, be a voice for justice, make disciples. Be my hands and my feet right up until the final moment of my Son's return. Look around you and strengthen what remains and is about to die. Find your fellow believers who are weary and discouraged, and build them up. Remind them of the hope that is within them. Fan into flame the gifts you see in them. You are in this together, and you must help each other cross the finish line. And finally, you must watch and pray. Live with your spiritual eyes wide open, discerning the times. But live also with your heart constantly open to me in prayer. Stay alert. Do not fall asleep spiritually. Watch and pray, so that you will have the strength to endure all that is about to happen, and to stand with joy before the Son of Man when He appears. These are my commands for you now. Walk in them, and you will be found ready. And so, my child, after all that I have revealed to you, the reality of your identity, the purpose I have for you, the battle you are in, and the glorious future that awaits, I want to seal it all with my unbreakable, everlasting promise. Your world is filled with uncertainty. People fail you. Your own heart can deceive you, and circumstances can change in an instant. You need a foundation that cannot crack, an anchor that will not drag. I am giving you that anchor now. These are not hopeful wishes. They are the sworn oaths of your Almighty God. First, you must know that though the most stable things you can imagine, the mountains, the hills, might be shaken from their foundations and cast into the sea, my unfailing love for you will not be shaken. Your feelings will change with the weather. Your faith will have seasons of strength and seasons of struggle. But my love for you is not a feeling. It is a fact. It is the one constant in the entire universe. It does not increase when you perform well, and it does not decrease when you fail. It is settled, it is eternal, and it is yours. Next, I promise you that I will never leave you nor forsake you. Hear those words. I will never leave you. In your moment of greatest success, I will be there to keep you humble. In your moment of deepest failure and shame, I will be there to lift you up. When you feel utterly alone and believe no one in the world understands, know that I am closer to you than your own skin. To forsake someone means to abandon them in their time of greatest need. I do the very opposite. The greater your need, the closer I draw to you. You look at yourself and you see so much that is unfinished, so much that is still broken. You fear that you will never truly change, that you will always struggle with the same things. But hear my promise. The one who began a good work in you will carry it on to completion until the day of Christ Jesus. Your spiritual growth and transformation do not ultimately depend on your own weak efforts, but on my divine faithfulness. You are my masterpiece, my project, and I always finish what I start. All my promises in my word find their ultimate yes in my Son. Because of His finished work, the answer from heaven to every promise for you is always yes. Your part is to respond from earth with your amen, which means, I believe it, and so it will be. And finally, know this. You are safe in my hands, and the hand of my Son is covering mine. No power in hell or on earth, no circumstance, no failure, no enemy can snatch you away from me. You are not holding on to me with your weak grip. I am holding on to you with my omnipotent, eternal grip. Trust in this absolute, unbreakable promise. Let it be the bedrock upon which you build your life from this day forward. So now, my beloved child, this part of our conversation is coming to a close, but your real journey is just beginning. I have spoken these things to you so that you would no longer walk as one who is uninformed, but as one who is fully equipped and powerfully commissioned. You are no longer to be defined by your uncertainty. You are to be defined by your mission. I have revealed to you the urgency of the hour, not to be a crushing burden of fear upon your shoulders, but to be a holy fuel that ignites your heart with a divine passion. Do not be afraid of the days to come. Be filled with a sober and joyful expectation for the part you get to play in them. The time for living a small, timid, self-focused life is over. I am calling you now to go forth from this moment and walk in the reality of who I have made you to be. Walk in the authority I have given you as my child. Stop thinking and acting like a spiritual orphan who has to beg for scraps. You are a son, a daughter, of the King of the universe. The same Spirit who raised Jesus from the dead lives in you. You have a right to stand firm against the enemy, to speak my word with boldness, and to enforce the victory that my Son has already won. Walk in the love I have commanded you to walk in. Let it be the very air you breathe and the defining characteristic of your life. In a world that is growing colder, more selfish, and more divided, I have called you to be a source of my supernatural warmth. Love the unlovable, forgive the unforgivable, serve the forgotten. Let your love be so radical, so different from the world's conditional affection, that it makes people stop and ask you about the God who is your source, and walk in the power of my Spirit. Stop focusing on your weakness and your inadequacy. As you have learned, your weakness is the very doorway for my strength to be displayed. Rely on my Spirit's power to live a holy life, to share my message with boldness, and to be my hands and my feet in the world around you. Your hands are now my hands to serve. Your feet are my feet to go. Your voice is my voice to speak words of eternal life. I am sending you. And now, as you go, receive my blessing. I, the Lord, bless you with every spiritual blessing, and I keep you safe in the palm of my hand. I, the Lord, make my face, my very presence, shine upon you with favor, and I am gracious to you, giving you mercy you do not deserve and goodness you could not earn. I, the Lord, turn my face toward you, giving you my full and undivided attention, and I grant you my perfect peace, my shalom, in your heart, in your home, and in your life. With my blessing upon you and my commission in your spirit, you are now ready to walk as my ambassador. As your heart burns to immediately put your yes into action, I am giving you this sacred opportunity to fund the sending of this entire message, this urgent truth, to a lost and waiting soul. Your support becomes a river of my presence, flowing from this moment into the dry places of the world. I speak this word over you as you give. Whoever is generous to the poor lends to the Lord, and he will repay him for his deed. This is your first act of obedience in your new commissioning. Do not hesitate, for my kingdom advances through the faithful. As you sow into this good ground, I will cause all grace to abound to you, so that you will always have all you need for every good work I call you to. Step into your calling now. Use the Super Thanks button. Become a Kingdom partner through membership, or click the PayPal link to release my word across the globe. My child, before our conversation for this moment ends, I have one final instruction for you. I have spoken these truths of who you are, of my unending love, of the battle you face, and of the victory that is already yours, not so they would simply be information for your mind, but so they would become a living fire in your spirit. Now, I want you to take that fire and make it a beacon. You must anchor these truths in your own heart with a declaration of faith. This act is not for me, for I see and know your heart completely, This is for you. It is an act of your will against the pull of the world. It is a line you draw in the sand against every lie of the enemy that will try to creep back in. It is your stake driven firmly into the ground of your soul, claiming the territory I have given you. When you declare a thing, you give it voice and power in your own life. You are agreeing with heaven, and in that agreement, you will find a new strength. Therefore, I invite you now, in the space below, to make your declaration. Let it be a banner of victory over your life for all to see. Write these words from the depths of your heart. I have heard you, Father. I am who you say I am, and I will walk in your purpose without fear. As you write these words, look also at the declarations of your brothers and sisters who stand with you. See that you are not alone, but are part of a great and mighty family I am raising up in these last days. Go now, my beloved. Live the truth you have just declared. Amen. If you believe in me, your Heavenly Father, then like this video and leave a heartfelt amen in the comments. If you want to stay closer to me, then subscribe to this channel.